10 seconds remaining.
Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to game number 2 between Orange Esport and LGD Gaming International. I am Luminous, and of course I'm joined by Gods as we are beyond the summit casting the GEST challenge. Game number 1 went to Orange Esport, and I think that was against a lot of the expectations of the viewers. I say at least 60-70% of the viewers. And Orange Esport showed poise against the split pushing of LGD and never gave them an opening.
Yeah, and Orange Esports, who have been struggling a bit as of late against the Southeast Asian team, but no problems whatsoever against LGD Gaming. Well, they had a few problems that game. It wasn't as clear-cut as it could have been, but when you're up against a team like LGD International, a close game victory is a victory nonetheless, and you're not going to get away with an easy one-sided game generally. So, game number 2, can LGD International bounce back? We'll have to see if they have what it takes and what they look to do this time around.
Yep, the bans is going to be a lone druid from LGD Gaming, despite the fact that they basically shut him down quite well, right? He just slowly he got picked off many times, especially when the Cypher Vice came up from G. But eventually, he just farmed up enough items. Now, I don't think it was really him that won the game, but he was definitely one of the big contributing factor in the ultra late game.
Remaining.
I want to see if there's going to be an early Brewmaster ban or pick, because you cannot allow or whoever this player is play Brewmaster. He's just absolutely insane.
Yeah, I hire actually former MUFC player. He got poached. Well, I guess somewhat poached. MUFC were already having some roster issues with Sharky, ultimately retiring. But Net as well as Ohio both joining Orange Esports, and that's where we're seeing them now with Mushi Extinct as well as KYXY. It's pretty much like an all-star Malaysian roster. Orange Esports has always been sort of the all-star Malaysian roster, where MUFC has sort of whoever's left, but they still often sort of go head-to-head pretty much even 50-50, even though Orange is normally the more stacked all-star roster. But this time around, we see a Mag as well as Lone Druid ban, Lifestealer getting banned out as well. So Orange Esports, I imagine both teams are going to be looking at a slightly different style of play here, with Lone Druid not in the playing field, something which both teams run quite a lot of here. But I think it's going to work somewhat in Orange's favor here. We'll have to look to see what they want to first pick, though.
Yeah, normally I would say something like a Keeper of Light, but Batrider obviously still in the pool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of quote-unquote NAs in the pool. There's a lot of broken heroes still available. And Orange Esports going to have their pick, but knowing the fact that they're going to have to give away 2 of them on the flip back, so...
You say giveaway. Last game, I mean, I would.
Well, Keeper wasn't even there, right?
Yeah,
Until last.
Keeper got 4th pick last game. He was picked up in the 4th pick by LGD International. So any other time, I would say our first 3 picks we're looking at Nyx, Keeper of Light, and Batrider. But this game, I don't really know. I think we'll see probably a Shadow Demon or a Rubik getting picked up as a support early on. Orange will grab the Nyx. I imagine LGD will grab either SD or Rubik with one of those key heroes. Batrider. And we'll see what else they want to grab here with this second pick.
Bat and Keeper looks completely fine to me. Maybe
Yeah.
Keeper, tiny bit weak against Nyx Assassin, so they're going to opt with the Shadow Demon. So, yeah, I get nothing too surprising out there. Rubik's definitely been a highly drafted hero for both these teams, as they do definitely use it in different scenarios, but they both use it to, very, very well.
Yeah. I think one of the limitations, I mean, you mentioned Orange having this really stacked roster and just being an absolute all-star team, but their offlane at KYXY, who's sort of known previously for being a solo mid or a carry player, he hasn't really got a huge list of heroes that he plays in the offlane. And Darkseer, one of the main ones he plays, Lone Druid, the other one we saw last game. So I feel they almost have to pick up one of his heroes very early on in the draft, because otherwise he's very limited in what they can maybe pick him with these last couple of picks. And the offlaners, I mean, we already see Mag being banned out as well. Batrider, an occasional offlane, but more sort of a solo mid, also already picked up. So I guess they're somewhat already limited in what they can pick him. So maybe Orange Esports want to get one of his heroes with these next 2 picks. Otherwise, maybe looking at something like a Luna pick. I think Orange Esports play really well with Luna when they've got Mushi on him. Brewmaster, you mentioned, does he get picked in the first 3? I don't think Brewmaster does too well against this Batrider Shadow Demon style of play, though. I think it was really last game where he was great at stopping that I guess just sort of push in your face kind of play, but this game along, I don't know if Brewmaster's quite as strong.
Yeah, also, I mean, right now at this point, you don't know LGD if they're going to go for pushing your face or they're going to go for gank. So Brewmaster's good against a particular lineup, but not good against every lineup. Unlike Keeper of Light, which is just a good hero overall. So they're going to pick it up here, still keep their lane up. Very, very versatile, as well as kind of secretive. Clockwork's going to be making his first appearance, today at least for me. And in between Keeper of Light and Clockwork, you are not pushing any towers, at least not without killing one of these 2 heroes, because they are so damn annoying together as a combo.
Yeah, and it's an early Clockwork pick. I think, like I said, they wanted to make sure they get KYXY's hero right off the bat, and they keep with the light. They've got themselves their 2 supports here. I think unlikely we see the Nyx Assassin as a solo mid, but it's still a possibility.
Remaining.
We could see a higher playing that, then they need to grab a carry of their own. LGD.int
Oranges.
anti-mage it's going to be. And I'm wondering if they send the anti-mage as a safe lane solo. This is something which, well, I think Mouse Sports one of the first teams who really did this effectively with Black. They send him in these 1v1 matchups against hero like Darkseid, where they'd go poor man shield first item, get pulled regen, and just crush a 1v1 matchup. And that's something anti-mage can definitely do against a Clockwork as well.
Yeah, and LGD Gaming, when they pick up an anti-mage, it's generally not just 4+1 kind of strategy. They always get another hero. It's basically a dual core strat. So I'm gonna be on the lookout for second carries. But on this ban phase, seems like both teams is getting rid of a lot of them.
I'd love to see a PL ban from LGD. There's the definite potential for a Coddle PL kind of game, and that's probably not something we want to be seeing. I think people have had enough of those after the G League final. I think LGD.int have had enough of those for a lifetime. I think the Luna ban probably is more deserving of a ban than the PL, but you've got 2 more bans, so you may as well be looking at that Phantom Lancer ban. Probably, I guess, I agree, they need that sort of secondary carry or semi-carry. I think that's something maybe like a Queen of Pain. You can send Queen of Pain mid and actually go offensive tri-lane maybe with a Bat Rider. I think that's sort of something up LGD and alley, something that they would maybe be looking to do with Brax playing the Bat Rider, but we'll have to wait and see. There's your PL ban though.
Yep. I mean, there's always a. Oh, actually, I was gonna say there's a Life Stealer, which is gonna be doing very well against Nyx Assassin, but he was the first hero being banned out, so scratch that. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely available of carries, but LG Gaming still looking for trying to get rid of the carry choices of Orange Esports. I mean, what is Orange carries so far? What are their options?
I mean, I guess Faceless Void is always still there. Something which Mushi plays every now and then. Otherwise, I don't know. They're somewhat limited, I guess, with all these hard carries being banned up by both teams to some extent. Faceless Void is probably the main obvious carry left in the pool.
I guess there's always a Sven if you want to go a couple months back. Tiny is an option.
I'd be really shocked to see a Sven. I think more likely you'd see something like a Tiny. I think Orange just do not. They've never been a team to run the carry Sven. I've never seen Mushi play it, and it's very unlikely we look to see them start here. I like the Enchantress ban. The jungler's still in the pool. There is still a Chen, though, if LG didn't want to grab it. Maybe Orange even thinking of taking the Chen. If they want to run Nyx in the mid lane, they can grab the Chen before LGD does, but I think right now, the carry hero for Orange Esports, I think Faceless Void is a potential liability against an offensive tri-lane.
Yeah, he really is. He doesn't actually contribute too much until much later on. And again, when you're playing Faceless Void with multiple melee carries, or melee heroes in general, it gets a little bit awkward. It makes your Nyx Assassin as well as Clockworks a lot more awkward in team fights, utilizing their stuns as well as moving around in general. But for now, it's going to be their draft. Are they going to pick up a carry here? I think they 4th pick Luna last draft, so it could be a carry here. But it feels like this Orange lineup is very squishy, despite having a Nyx Assassin as well as Clockwork. They just don't have. They get easily killed. That's how I feel about this lineup.
I think they actually wanted that Tinker. I think LGD did something really smart with that ban. Ohio's Tinker is something which Orange often sort of fall back upon. There is a Queen of Pain there, which they can get. TA, the other big hero in the pool. Oh, there's a carry hero. Completely forgot about the Shadow Fiend. This is most likely looking at a safe lane Shadow Fiend for Mushi, although he played the solo mid last game. It's normally a higher playing the mid lane.
Not against the bat, man. Not against the bat. It's going to be a safe lane.
Right, a really tough matchup. So I think we're seeing safe lane Shadow Fiend for Mushi. And then we look at whatever's going to be the solo mid for Ohio, and maybe it's the Nyx Assassin, but I think more likely they're going to grab another hero. Something like a Queen of Pain. Templar Assassin also still in the pool if they think they need another source of serious DPS, but I think Queen of Pain does pretty well here.
5 seconds remaining.
I feel like LGD perhaps need a little bit more lockdown power, whether it's AoE, whether it's single target. If I see a Beastmaster out of Brax, or a G if he wants to play a mid, that's not bad at all.
Work really well, I think.
Sure, yeah. So I feel like there's definitely options still available. We're not exhausted of it, but one thing I want to point out, Shadow Fiend, excuse me, is he's a fine carry, simply because he gets to his carry status, if you will, a lot quicker. But so far, we're going to see Misery's chance being picked up here to leave the last hero a little bit secretive. Also, keep in mind that Shadow Fiend, when he gets level enough, those presence of the Dark Lord, it's going to be pretty impressive against this team. Aside from Anti-Mage, it's going to be very armor starved, and they could get pretty much right-clicked down by the rest of the Orange Esports team.
Yeah. Do you think it's right now, with the Chen pick? Do you think LGD are looking at an offensive trial and they didn't? I mean, it's sort of what they're known for. They didn't go for it last game. Do they look to do that with the Shadow Demon Chen +1 top and
10
send Anti-Mage as
seconds
a solo
remaining.
bottom, or are they going to send the supports with Anti-Mage?
I think that's definitely going to be one of their
5
goals,
seconds
but
remaining.
whichever lane they're going to try to go into, they got to try to dodge the clock, because clock cog is going to be annoying against Chen creeps. They're going to try to charge in, but then they get mono drain, they get pushed back, and you never really end up getting that kill. So if they do want to try lane, they got to pair it nicely. And so far, I mean, Orange is not giving too much indication whether that Nyx Assassin is still going to be a support, whether it's going to be a mid. You don't really know, and I think withholding
10
information against
seconds
LGD.int is a
remaining.
very, very smart draft.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you want to
5
keep
seconds
keep
remaining.
your options open there, and that's going to keep Orange guessing as well. Maybe they even look at other places. And Shadow Fiend's Tide Hunter last pick, so I guess we're maybe looking at Nyx Assassin in the mid lane. Even Tide Hunter could go mid. Orange Esports
Yeah.
have run a solo mid Tide Hunter from time to time. Something I think the first team who actually did that was eHome, but in Dota 2 at least, ages
Yes.
back. But we're going to see maybe Orange Esports look to do that. Either Nyx Assassin or Tide, both potential solo mids. I think Nyx Assassin is the slightly stronger choice just because he's a bit more mobile, has a more sort of... He's not... Tide Hunter, it's all about the ultimate
10
once you get that
seconds
level 60.
remaining.
And walking in and getting off a good ultimate, not always easy. Nyx Assassin, you have the long
5
range Impale,
seconds
you have
remaining.
Vendetta for the mobility. You offer a lot more to the team than just having the Ravage.
I feel like Tide Hunter, though, in this particular game, is going to have a tough time landing a 2 or 3 man Ravage simply because of the fact that LGD Gaming has so much range. Shadow Demon is going to stay outside. Chen, he's going to stay outside. His creeps might be in your face, but he's going to be fine. Bat Rider, once he has Blink, he's staying far back. And Anti-Mage, obviously, with Blink, he's going to be far back as well. So, what is Tide? Unless Tide gets a Blink Dagger, he's going to have a very tough time engaging on everybody. There's a Beastmaster. And I wonder if it's going to be an off lane or... Well, Brax is going to be playing the Bat Rider, so we're going to see G playing that mid Beast. And he's going to have a good matchup just about against any hero from the orange side.
It looks to me like they're going to go offensive trialing with the Bat Rider. Shadow Demon Bat Rider Chen is actually pretty damn scary. Bat Rider known for being a strong solo mid and just winning those 1v1 matches, but he actually offers quite a lot in a tri-lane scenario, so possibly going to be looking to shut down Mushi if they send him top lane. Maybe Orange going to expect this and sort of look to adjust their lanes as a result. They could send Mushi mid against the Beastmaster if they want to try and do that. But Shadow Demon Chen, if they're in the enemy jungle, they can easily swing around, come back to mid, gank him from behind. So there's wherever Mushi goes, if it's an offensive trial, he's going to have a bit of a tough time farming.
For anybody joining us, this is game number 2 between LG
10
Gaming
seconds
and
remaining.
Orange Neolution for the GST Challenge. And right now, Orange
5
is up
seconds
1
remaining.
game against LGD.int.
Yeah, we'll have to see if LGD can come back. I like this draft. I think they've done something. I think the Anti-Mage pick, that if they send it in a 1v1 matchup up against the Clockwork, they get in the fast poor man shield, they pull in some regen. I think things look good for them here if they can get that matchup, and then they have the offensive trialing. Whether the offensive trialing is against Mushi or not, I think it doesn't matter, because Anti-Mage should win his matchup up against the Clockwork.
Yep. Looks like we're going to have perhaps a little bit of server switching.
Yeah, they're sitting on 300 ping here. Orange are normal-ish pings. Sometimes I remember back in like the old days when we played. It was when we had the BTS World Tour and we're playing games on US West, and we had to remake like 3 times before we got like the correct US West server. Like only some of the US West servers were actually good for the Chinese teams, and they'd be able to play on maybe 180, 200 ping, which was quite reasonable. But every like second or first or second time it would be the bad one. So we had to keep remaking until we got the good server, and then would finally find a good one. Same thing actually happened on the Singapore servers every now and then. So I'm wondering if this is maybe one of those situations. It looks like their pings are dropping though. Brax is down to 160, which is what you'd probably expect from China.
Yeah, perhaps just a unlucky spike. I'm checking the pings as well. And I think we should be good to go.
Well, -4 players, unfortunately.
There's that too, but
Brax can do it. He can 1v5.
he can. He has that micro. Which, by the way, shout out to Brax. Had the pleasure of meeting him, as he does live in Southern California, and he's just generally a very chill guy. So, shout out to Brax.
All right, reconnecting back in. Hopefully get things underway in a second here. All right, one more play to reconnect, guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in as always. It's a lot of fun to cast these Asian tournaments, and it's good to see the viewership growing. We've got more GEST challenge tomorrow. We'll see all 4 teams return tomorrow because we'll have a loser bracket round 1 as well as the winner bracket round 1. We'll also have more G1 League qualifiers tomorrow during the day. I'm not actually sure who's going to be casting what or who's going to be casting where, but check out the Beyond the Summit 1 and 2 channels, basically from midday onwards, Singapore time. So it'll be from about, I think actually the first game's at 1 p.m. and then games will end around midnight. So we'll have about 12 hours of content tomorrow for the Asian scene. And then after that, we've got We Play Dota 2. So today as well as tomorrow, we've got tons of content for everyone. But it looks like this game here, LGD.int up against Orange, game number 2. A must-win game for LGD International if they want to stay in this winner bracket.
G's going to be heading mid here, saving for that quick bottle. Looks like he's going to be defensive trialing up on top. No poor man shield just being purchased, although a lot of armor going to be going for that quick triangle boots. Meanwhile here on KYXY, he's going to be playing that top solo clock. Nothing too surprising here in terms of item purchase as well as laning. There is a smoke to see on TIE Hunter, which decent ganker. Keeper life's always awkward when you're ganking. I guess he could always stay far away and illuminate, but for the most part, he's not too good as a ganker.
Yeah, I think that's really the main limitation of this Orange Esports side. They haven't really got the strongest ganking. Well, for Orange Esports, they don't have the best ganking supports. Extinct on the Tide Hunter, the Keeper of the Light. These are supports who'll be looking just to sort of protect Mushi in the safe lane, and also maybe just look to use pulls and stacks here. But in a trial versus trial scenario, they can do all right. And it looks like that's maybe what we'll be seeing here. Brax as well as Shadow Demon 1437 are both hovering around that bottom lane, at least to start things off. But Misery, he's top, so maybe he wants to grab a creep and then smoke towards bottom, deciding that the real danger comes, you can't get into your enemy jungle at level 1. If you venture down bottom, getting into your enemy jungle up against a Tide Gush and an Illumina is really hard. So he wants to grab his first creep up top, and then he probably rotates bottom, although we'll have to wait and see if that's exactly what he'll be doing.
Yeah, by the time that you're trying to wait for that creep wave to spawn, which at 32nd, you're probably dead by then because the 2 supports, as well as the possibility of that Shadow Fiend coming in. You can't actually take that risk. So yeah, Misery staying in his jungle, waiting perhaps to even find a better selection of a creep as well. But looks like this is going to be a very, very kind of a smart defensive offlane here from Brax as well as 1437. Firefly is going to make it so impossible for him to die. As I say that though, here comes TIE Hunter invised up, and of course they will always have that defensive disruption if necessary. It looks like they're going to be using it offensively, but Gush immediately being dropped on Brax. Brax, no spell being chosen just yet here. Is it going to be a flame break? No, just going to be napalm. He's actually taking a lot of damage, and it's going to force out salve. No salve, so... And of course, they're also going to get a D-ward. This is actually a huge win from LGD despite nothing really happening so far.
Yeah, this is a nice little start for them. They protect their observer wards, get the D-ward. Misery now. He's got his first creep. He doesn't even have to smoke towards bottom. It looks like he's just going to walk down there. And I think it's a really smart thing. I think that's always going to be the limitation of running the offensive jungle. And this is something a lot of teams fell into a trap of when they'd pick an Enchantress or Chen to go offensive jungle. They'd send an Enchantress there right from level 1, right before the creep spawned in. The hero would just die before you even pick up a creep. If the enemy team predicted it, they'd see it coming. But what Misery has done, he picks up the creep in his own jungle, rotates bottom, doesn't even use the smoke to do so, and now he's ready to help out. Now he's ready to team up with 1437 and look for some kills. And
with the disruption of Shadow Demon, this is perhaps one of the best creeps you can pick up. An insane amount of damage, really, really high percentage slow. And looks like they're going to be starting to look for it. They are paying the hell out of that lane, and Shadow Demon, if he gets off that disruption, the napalm slowing down as well. He's within range of clap and actually draws a gush. I think that's a victory in itself.
Yeah, it was he had to use it. I think that was actually going to be a dead Keeper Light if he didn't use it. But it is a slight edge going the way of LGD, and forces out a clarity from Titan. He's got a couple though, so he's still going to have plenty of gush mana over time. But it does sort of force Orange to play on the back foot here. They now know what they're up against though, so they avoid the first attempt at a kill, which is sort of the big one. If that first one succeeds, that's where LGD can start to sort of snowball out of control very, very quickly. But denying them of that first kill is a good start.
And more importantly, taking the stack, taking the pull, making sure that the Shadow Fiend's not getting absolute freeform under the protection of the tower, and the support's not getting too much EXP as a result. I feel like this is going to be nice. Also, that Smoke of the Sea on the TIE Hunter is not going to be useful or as useful in this early stage of the game because they're going to be the ones under pressure. They won't have time to rotate and gank mid. So that's going to give G in a very comfortable 1v1 matchup against Nyx Assassin. I love the aura build that he's going to be going. Not only is it going to be pushing the lane by itself, also in terms of a right-click harass harassment war, Beastmaster's going to win that 100% of the time. He has high damage, he has high armor, and his creep wave is going to actually do a lot more right-clicking because of that aura. So, very nice aura build here on the mid lane by G, and he's going to, in my opinion, dominate this lane.
Yeah, he should do pretty well here. It comes down, I think at the end of the day, it will come down to a lot just the pure last hitting here. But right now, G on top of a higher at the mid lane. Nyx Assassin, he's going to get the levels regardless here. It will be a bit of a room battle, but it should be a lane that G comes out on top of. Meanwhile, top lane, you have got Pycat. He's got that free farm lane up against the Clockwork. But right now, Clockwork, well, looking just to trade blows. Clockwork essentially is never going to have mana here. Clockwork matches up slightly better than a Darkseid here. Actually, more meanwhile, it's going to be a gank here towards the bottom lane. And Shadow Demon and Chen walk into an illusion rune of the Nyx Assassin. Really smart play from the Nyx Assassin. Sends those illusion runes out just to make sure he can see any ganks coming in.
Hey, and if you ever bait out a stomp or a disruption, then again, it did its job, so pretty nicely done. But the thing is, they're not getting too much done here either. They being LGD International, they're not getting the ganks, and Chen obviously is not getting too much level. He's just hit level 2 from this particular camp. It's going to be somewhat difficult to dive Nyx Assassin on the mid lane because of Spike Carapace, and of course a range impale. But they can still try, lead it up by the Shadow Demon Disruption, and basically perfectly time a stomp from the Centaur.
Yeah, and Mushi playing very as safe as possible. He's even just dropping raises to help him farm at the bottom lane. It looks like Orange, well, it's not just the Chinese having some lag issues. It looks like both teams are going to be restarting quickly. No animations. All that Chinese packet loss, man. Both teams
don't need animation, just randomly.
I mean, how many games of Dota have these guys played over their life? You'd probably say, I mean, even just Dota 2 alone, you're looking at about, what?
Thousands of games at least.
Yeah, a couple thousand. Include Dota 1, and then you're looking at probably about 20,000 maybe. Maybe not quite that. You played, what, 5-6 years of Dota 1, so add another like 10,000 or so. Who needs animations by then? Like, you should be able to play without even spell and casting animations. You should be able to like see how much damage you're taking and be like, oh, he casted that spell. Oh, Freezing Field is hitting me because it's this random damage doing so much at a time. Like, after like 10,000 plus games of Dota, man.
I think we're getting a little bit too deep with the.
Back to rock paper scissors. All right.
I can't believe they're playing rock paper scissors on frickin'. This is the most ridiculous thing I've seen.
Ohio types second and loses.
Wow.
Well, Ohio confirmed for worst rock paper scissors in RNG esports. We're gonna do like a kill league.
We'll keep track of scores.
An all kill format.
Oh,
it
man.
moves on to the next player now. Ohio's eliminated.
Bruno needs to do a addition to the Dota Academy site of how good they are in rock paper scissors stats.
Yeah. Sounds legit.
That should affect the buy and sell economy of players at TI3. Well, my guy wins rock paper scissors, so fuck you.
It should be like a bonus point you can get each match.
Yeah.
Like, if one of your players wins a
rock paper scissors
an in-game rock paper scissors match, you get like a bonus 5 points. Only applies in games where it happens, but we'll have to encourage players to do it more.
Well, honestly, we hope there is no rock paper scissors, as that will require the game to be paused. But
that's what players like Bambo needed at TI2, man. Like I was seeing on like -20. Give him some like rock paper scissors plus points.
Shout out to Sexy Bambo, which I believe rated the lowest or earned the least amount of points as an offlaner.
Hey man, you're an offlaner. Like it's like the hard.
You have to earn more than a support, I have to say.
Well, you're up against like tri-lanes every second game. The way, especially with the way Mouse Sports played, because they had Black on the free farm. They never gave Bamboo any support. The supports were always with Black, so I think it was a really tough team to be an offlaner on.
Definitely. The only support that he got was the chicken.
Yeah.
When the mid wasn't bottle crawling.
And hey, they were like a reserve team. They weren't meant to be a team who was going to be initially competing with these top Chinese teams. It was, I don't know. No hate intended towards Bambo.
Hate fully intended to Bambo, because we're chill, but...
Okay. Well, one more play needs to read. It looks like LGD are okay. They're back in. Animations are good to go.
I guess it's time to actually, well, it should have been time a long time ago to check out in terms of item progression and whatnot, but we're so early in the game that there's not really too much to say. Actually, an interesting Clockwork picked up a crawling blade from their side shop to kind of, I mean, if you're going to be last hitting, might as well do it, right?
I like this, and I mentioned how anti-mage in these 1v1 matchups, like, it was sort of started out when people would send him against the Darkseer. You don't do as well against the Clockwork as you do a Darkseer. Much lower mana pool. You burn that mana fast, so you're not getting all that extra damage when you harass. Piecut even has 2 points in the mana break, but well, when Clockwork has no mana to burn down, it's not really doing all that much good for you. So this is a much more favorable matchup than the anti-mage versus Darkseer. And the Quelling Blade is basically, he's allowed him to basically be even on CS right now. He's looking pretty good.
Wait. Did you say this is favorable matchup for the Clock?
No, it's better than, it's a better matchup than having a Darkseer up against the Anti-Mage. Like comparing the two, because teams started doing the Anti-Mage 1v1 against Darkseer, and now, well, Orange decide, hey, let's do it with, well, no, LGD decide, hey, we can do it also against the Clockwork. I don't think it's quite as effective against the Clockwork as it is against the Darkseer.
I know you say that once you get up to Shrangle Boots, Darkseer becomes quote-unquote obsolete. But I still feel like double Iron Shell against any melee hero is
And
pretty tough.
Like, you should watch Black play Anti-Mage against any Darkseer in the European scene. He goes, like, berserk. He'll get, like, at about level 3, level 4, Darkseer can't come in XP range.
Well, Black's got some voodoo magic going on, so...
Yeah, that guy just plays, like, an insane solo Anti-Mage. Well, I don't know. What else is going on? Lanes. We've got mid lane G, Beastmaster up against Nyx. Kind of talked about that one already. Here's the reconnect from Mushin. Yeah, the most interesting lane is going to be this bottom lane. The big thing is here, the two supports on the Radiant side. They're not getting much XP or farm. They're stuck protecting Mushi. They can't really use pools right now. Whereas for LGD.int, they can use the jungle a bit, although right now they're not really doing so. They're trying to move around a bit, and they are wasting a bit of time.
But I feel like actually taking control of the jungle really shuts down the options of Orange supports. They can't roam. They can barely sit and protect the Shadow Fiend because you always have to respect the diving power. But looks like they're going to come right here for a big dive. Smoke being used. I think they pinged it out, though. They definitely know that they're missing. And looks like we're going to see a dive attempt while they're going next level direction right now. Are they going to run all the way to the top lane? Seems like the case. Wow, this is a very, very deep smoke gank. Because they have definitely exerted dominance in the jungle, so they could definitely be missing without drawing too much attention. But Clockwork, we expected him to not die, but I think he eventually will be dying. Equilibrium going towards the tower.
At most, Orange are expecting a gank on mid lane, like a smoke gank on mid lane, but it's a gank on top. KYXY is going to be like, what is this? Hey, Korea needs to get... Oh, no, they don't decide to go for Korea. They go for the kill instead. KYXY, look how tanky he is, though. He's brought himself a bottle, helps heal himself up a bit longer. He's going to do his best just to stay alive as long as possible. Possibly even look for a deny on some neutral creeps.
Yeah, he's actually going to say it. Well, he's going to basically spend most of his gold. And if he draws, he's definitely drawn 3 or 4 heroes time here. Body blocking and temp on Pika not working out. Here comes a couple more hits. He can even try to suicide to neutral as well. Yeah. All the time wasted. Even if they get the kill and it's a first blood kill, still worth it. Still worth it. And I'm talking about worth. Well, he's... he's going for it. No, the creeper aggro going the other way. There's going to be a stop, and there's going to be a first blood. And he even went to Chen. It's fine. Fine for Orange.
Wasted so much. I think he wanted to deny himself, but ultimately he could have just kept on running around. Like, run around the newts, go around towards the secret shop. He could have wasted even more time if he wanted. I think he just thought, there's a slight chance he can deny himself to neutrals, so he may as well go for it, but... He could have just decided to waste even more time there. Well played by LGD to make sure they didn't give away that first blood, but that's what you'd expect from them, as Piecat doesn't even get the goal from it. He missed a lot of CS while he was chasing there. Yeah,
not only that, the support got a lot of time, but look at teleportation to the mid lane. They want G. They are going to get G. Impale Battery Assault as well as Cogs. And that put Clockwork to level 6 as an off lane. Wow. Suddenly your support's 1437. Yeah, he's 2. Chen is 3. Those are basically free picking whenever KYXY sees them. This is an insane turn event. Meanwhile, back on the bot lane, there's a Gush Illuminate up top here. Shadow Fiend. That's going to be 1 race, 2 race hitting on Brax. Oh, Brax. He's going off the map, but Mushi sees him. Sort of.
Yeah, he stopped moving. I was about to say, well, you can go off the map, but he should still be able to run up. I think this is what we see a pause coming out for. Looks like a possible slight spike coming out. Looks like they are ready to go. Mushi asking out the animation, but no, Orange esports. It was just a big spike. Yeah, Brax, he stopped moving for a second. That's why I was really confused there. As I don't think they're going to be able to catch him. There's no gush for 2 or 3 seconds, and he's already across the river here. Mushi's not going to reach him. There's no razors up, so he'll survive.
He'll survive, but definitely needs to burn a couple. He doesn't have a salve, so he's going to have to take some regen. G teleports on the bot lane. He's got his Beastmaster Roar, but there's nobody to pick it off. I guess The pause had forced G to actually teleport, but not
They
that
saw
he
him,
wasn't
too.
needed. Yeah, they saw him, and access to cut through the trees. Wow! So close to actually get the kill, 39 HP away, so good attempt here by G, but he has actually wasted a lot of time. Meanwhile, back in the mid lane here, Nyx Assassin hits 6, 1437, offensive disruption. Can he spike this? Can he spike this? I think if he spiked it, the enemies would take down damage.
No. The
I'm
illusions?
No. I think 1437 would have taken damage if he spiked illusions, yeah. I'm pretty sure on that.
He used it afterwards. I don't know if Shadow Demon had changed the target on them. I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah. So,
Next Dota Trivia show. Where is the Dota Trivia show gone, Lumi?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Whenever it comes back, that question will be asked.
Alright. Well, Pyke at the top lane. He's now sort of excited to accelerate his farm. He knows he has some catching up to do after some wasted time here. Mushi, slightly ahead at the bottom lane. He's gone for some early treads, magic wand here, just to help him out against that Batrider spam. So that's where he gets his mana from right now. And, well, I think things are going pretty well for Orange right now. They've got the levels they need on the early game. Clockwork as well as Nyx Assassin, both level 6, 7. They can really start looking at very aggressive ganking. And Shadow Demon Chen, like you say, they're just food if they want to start ganking this map up.
Yep, it's going to be extremely difficult for them to actually do so. Beastmaster does have that roar, so they want to set up a kill, but I think the Radiant team, they do know Tanger already porting in. I mean, these are some of the earliest port that we've seen in games like these. It's 7 minutes in, not that early, but you don't see a level 3 support porting in unless you know something's up, and they definitely do know. A War Observer here, scoping out Dark Ring coming out behind from Beastmaster. So far, Brax is getting nothing done on the bot lane. Shadow Fiend getting basically protected free farm, and he's going for treads first, not the Shadow Blade that we saw from Vichy Gaming earlier. Top lane here, we do see Ohio coming in. He finds himself that Chen, and that Chen, he's dead.
Yeah, did not stand a chance here. Ohio, he blocks some of this damage with a Carapace here. He's low on mana here, but I don't think Anti-Mage can actually... Anti-Mage has no mana for a Mana Void anyway, so... Pyke, he's getting decent farm up here, but it just doesn't really seem to be working overall as far as the big picture for LGD, and they're basically sacrificing so much to give SF free farm here.
Yep, SF is getting free farm though, and I think he's one of those heroes that could kind of easily pay you back with the free farm. Again,
Yeah.
Once he hits level 7, which he does have right now, even finds himself a free Hawk, so very nice. He could, if you don't have enough hero in that lane, he could easily put pressure if he has a mana. Unfortunately, right now he doesn't. The off lane, or the short lane Shadow Fiends generally don't go bottle, so he's gonna have a tough time regenerating those mana. Well, he has a Kato, so never mind.
Yeah, and generally Shadow Fiend does, generally Mushi Shadow Fiend, he does go for that fast Shadow Blade. This time he's actually got the treads wand, so we'll have to see if he goes back for the Shadow Blade or straight into the BKB maybe, or a Yasha. I don't feel he I mean, both Batrider Lasso as well as Beastmaster are all two things to go through a BKB. This doesn't really immediately look like a game where BKB is going to offer all that much. It seems more like he needs Manta Style, Shadow Blade, other big late game carry items. The actual BKB itself isn't going to offer a whole lot. There's hardly anything that's actually going to block.
I mean, it's still nice if you get it later, in a sense. It does definitely block the Mana Burn, which is a big part of Anti-Mage's damage. But you're right, the Flaming Lasso, the Roar is definitely going to be a nod against that. Oh, there's going to be a Beastmaster right there, but do they want to change target? It looks like Brax does. Looks like, whoa, they're going to get one kill and still Flaming Lasso. This is going to be a nice double if they do pick it up. Shadowfiend's going to try to find his way out. He misses the Sea Rays, but looks like Nyx Assassin has cleaned up. He's going on G. There's going to be a Gush on top as well. There's going to be, offensive disruption against GG. Magic wanding up. He has Arcane Boots as well, summoning the boar, trying to juke around. He's gonna make that juke around. It's gonna be fine now. He's gonna chase against a TIE Hunter. Anchor Smash not gonna be enough. They're gonna pick off the TIE as well. G playing beautifully, and he's gonna be fine.
He's juking and jiving, and he gets out of there, although maybe 1437 not going to get out. He gets caught out in between three heroes here. KYXY comes in for a bit of cleanup here, but a small victory when they really wanted the Beastmaster. That was the one key hero for them there, I feel.
Yep. I mean, they lost the Shadow Fiend, which is the biggest loss. Again, he's one of those heroes, if you don't gank him, he's going to catch up and farm so quickly. Now, he does have that quote-unquote catch-up factor with the double raises. And you can see that's, 200 gold right there that he just made. So he can eventually catch up. But Pycat, free farming up top, this is the hero that you don't want him to be free farming on.
Yeah, this is a hero who, despite not having the ultimate free farming state early on, he can quickly catch up. And even if this is just maybe looking at something like a 15, 16-minute Battle Fury, not that sort of fast 12, 13-minute Battle Fury, he'll still accelerate that farm and just cause all sorts of problems for Orange Esports. They haven't got really a great lineup for dealing with him late game. They've got the damage from the SF, but the rest of this lineup, not really heroes good at dealing with a split push from Anti-Mage.
Yeah, Anti-Mage, not only is he so mobile, not only does he clear creep so quickly, if you send any old support to defend that lane, he'll just blink up to you, Manta, and basically kill you. Even Shadow Fiend's gonna have a little bit of issue, but that's another story for a little bit down the road. Shadow Fiend up to about 2,000 gold. And is it gonna be Yasha first? Is it gonna be the Shadow Blade first? We'll see. Mushi not switching his treads.
He doesn't switch treads. He never does.
Wow, I can't believe that.
Yeah, don't worry. You're not the only one.
He's usually such a mechanically superior player. I expect him to do tiny things like those, but apparently not.
Last hitting harass and stuff in lane, but he doesn't like tread swapping. He's also like when it comes to buying. That's why last game he saved up like 9k gold. He's really bad and sort of lazy about buying items. He's really slow about it, so he just doesn't do it until he sort of has a bunch of time. Then he'll buy like 2 or 3 items at once. Mushi does not tread switch. You'll never really see him doing it. Maybe if he's about to like use a salve or use a bottle or something, but just general raising, he doesn't think it's worth his effort and focus to use tread switching.
All right. Looks like teleportation comes in from Mushi. He did expect a gank, smoke gank indeed, coming on the mid lane. There's a Lumina to clear the creep wave. And Tower now in a little bit of trouble. Shadow Fiend in the front line here. Still sitting at that 2,500 HP. He's still saving that gold. Axe is going to be defending as well as Shadow Poison. But here comes KYXY. He's going to be the X Factor. If he gets a 2-man cog, that team fight is going to be instantly won because that's going to land the Shadow Raises. That's going to land the Illuminate as well as all the other damage. Although they really want this Satyr. And they're going to grab... Oh! Misery, denying his own creeps.
Well, that'll help out a little bit, denying a bit of farm from this Orange Esports side. But Orange, they're quite happy to take a team fight if one comes here. If LGD try and push, with this Tide Ravage now up, they can get an initiate. Well, they don't even. It's not even Tide Ravage which is going to lead things off. They lead with the Clockwork Hookshot or a Nyx Assassin Vendetta initiation. Then Tide can just walk on in generally, especially if you cog someone up. Either LGD and abandon them, or if they go to help them, that's where the Tide Ravage comes into play. So I think overall, Orange's sort of next 5 to 10 minutes is really where they've got to make a difference here. They've got to start taking towers because Anti-Mage is still doing his thing at top lane, and that's going to be a cause for concern for Orange Esports.
Yeah, if you see the way that KYXY is playing, it's basically throwing this mana away to use cogs. If you ever get some mana burn on Anti-Mage, that's basically free value. He knows he's going to lose mana anyways. Fight breaks out in the jungle here as Chen. Not sure why he's so deep in the jungle by himself, but definitely pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, that mana, he uses another cogs here. Pycat down to no mana at all, and when Pycat doesn't have mana for a mana void, he can't be all that aggressive. He's not going to be able to kill KYXY. So it's actually a really smart decision to play it like this. 200 mana drain. That is insane.
Yeah, generally as a Clockwork player, you don't actually max cogs. You go to your other spells. You leave your cogs at level 1 because it's still 5 seconds, which is pretty insane if you think about it. But in this particular lane, again, if you burn Anti-Mage mana, not only does he not really can kill you with Mana Void, anybody that you send up top, you really increase the likelihood of getting a kill on that Anti-Mage.
Yeah, it definitely makes him a lot more gankable when he's down on mana. But right now, LGD, well, they decide they don't want to go sort of all out looking for any push here with the Tidehunter Ravage being online. Nyx Assassin up to 1,600 gold. So both two teams have been playing a much more passive style of play than what we saw last game here, looking to farm their carries, looking even their solos. Nyx Assassin with a lot of gold. Beastmaster, same story. We've got an Ogre Club there, so we'll start seeing the makings of either a BKB or that Acceptor.
Anti-Mage getting all his mana burn, and you can see Blue slowly waiting. I think between a Gush, Anchor Smash, and Ravage, they're actually going to get him. It looks like they got the two are trading hit, but here comes the Bat Rider. Tidehunter's got to actually help out. They're going to try to kill KYXY. KYXY out of mana at this point, but the Rav's going to come in right now. That's going to grab 2. Who are they going to focus? They're going to focus here on Brax. Brax is going to be their kill. They really want an Anti-Mage, but with mana up on him, he had Magic Wand, so you were not going to get the kill on him.
Yeah, he's getting all these magic stick charges here. And as a result, it makes him, even when you get him all down nice and low mana with the cogs, you're not going to be able to gank him because he's always going to have those magic stick charges for those bad situations like we just saw. Or it started off as a potential gank going their way, but Orange Esports, they were ready with the backup there, and they turned it around really easily. Tide Ravage used just for a Bat Rider, but at this point in the game, it's a pretty low-action game. Using Ravage, using these big ultimates just for one kill is well worth it.
Yep, I agree. You see that the way that G was playing on the mid lane, he saw a big team fight go out on top, immediately start pushing on the mid lane, and do some chip damage to that tower. Tower is already in deny range. Again, look at how annoying this is. As Anti-Mage gets pinged out, he's very, very short on mana. Still have 7 charges on his wand. That wand seems like to be ever refilling by itself, so... he's always going to have Blink.
Yeah, and well, mid lane, we see Axis. Actually, Axis gets blocked by the Carapace. This is one of those great things about Nyx Assassin. Those Axis keep getting thrown out. You can just block them if you want. And Ohio, he's gone for a different build. He's not max Carapace. He's max Mana Burn instead of Carapace.
And Mana Burn will allow him to kind of... The thing about a lot of players not maxing Mana Burn is the cooldown gets... It's a very, very powerful spell, especially against certain heroes like Beastmaster, Batrider. They don't have a very, very high mana pool to spam multiple spells, and if you actually burn them once, you can't, like, you force them to not be able to cast a Beastmaster Roar. That's pretty insane if you think about it.
Yeah.
So, in this particular game, you're not blocking too many insane spells anyway, so I like this adjustment here.
Yeah, I think the main reason for the Carapace is the longer stun duration, but considering they're not team fighting, he's not even ganking at all right now. I think I agree that it is a stronger build going for the Mana Burn. He's spending more time just sort of sitting around not actively ganking. If he goes ganking, it's just for one quick pick off and then he backs off. They make up for the team fight with the Clockwork and the Tide. They don't need the Carapace in the team fight. They will get KYX caught at the mid lane by Lasso. Can they bring him down this time? Tidehunter is here, but he's got no Ravage. It's going to be Nyx Assassin. On the sidelines, Raw goes in. Mushi with an SF ultimate. He had the Shadow Blade up. That set him up for a decent ultimate. Chen Heal not going to do a whole lot. He gets brought down as well. Batrider now on the run as well. Keeper of Light Illuminate doing tons of damage here. LGD.int, they're taking a lot here. They've lost 2. And that was ugly for him.
Yeah, Ohio made that team fight so much easier. All the supports were out of mana by the end of that fight. It is insane how quickly the cooldown is. Keep in mind that they took that fight without Ravage available. Now Tai has the Ravage. They're easily going to get that tower. And they could get more if they want to do so. But everybody's either lower mana or HP, so maybe they'll back off after this tower. Orange in a pretty commanding position right now. Leading by 4 kills, leading by about 4,000 gold. Item progression-wise, Shadow Fiend's got that Shadow Blade finish. Mech's being finished on KYXY. Ooh, Shadow Blade and an Ultimate Orb. This guy is so farming. Ohio just picked up a Blink Dagger. So these key items being picked up means LGD could be facing against a big push coming their way very soon.
Yeah, and this is the good build to do for Mushi here. We mentioned a lot about earlier. You don't need a BKB up against this team. They've got so much that can go through it. It's a lot of physical damage. There's no real like chain disables or nuke damage actually coming out. So going for more DPS and just, tanky items, be it a Manta style, a Butterfly for the evasion later on, and even just something just to give you some survivability. Even a Lincoln Sphere for the Beastmaster Roar and Batrider Lasso could be a better way to play this. Mushi needs to be careful because there's a 3-man smoke gank awaiting from at bottom lane.
Ooh, and Shadow Blade is on cooldown, so this is the time to go. But Homing Missile, I think... No, they were smoked up, so they should be fine. Although, I think they sensed something. Again, every time I see a smoke gank, especially a semi-obvious one, it's really what you... It's not what you see, it's what you don't see. And there's a whole bunch of people missing off the map, so it should be pretty obvious that's a smoke gank somewhere.
Yeah. Even Pycat hasn't revealed himself at the top lane. So they were probably thinking like, well, Pycat's not farming top. Where is every single hero? Every single hero is missing as far as the Radiant team is concerned. Yep.
Now, Pycat obviously is going to be in his own jungle, and so he's always missing, sort of. Although, does he have the Battle Fury done just yet? No. He's about 20 gold away, or 5 gold, 1
Has he
gold.
got it on the crew here?
No, he's got A74, so he's got it, basically.
He's got it, yeah.
So 18-minute Battle Fury. Yeah, 1 gold. 18-minute Battle Fury is not exactly the quickest Battle Fury of all time, and I guess I just want to go back to your point. It seems like that Clockwork, maxing cogs, very effective in terms of, not shutting Anti-Mage down, but delaying that Battle Fury. I gotta say, though, Clockwork did luck out in a lot of instances where he basically wasted 3 or 4 heroes' time by diving into deep enemy forest. As well as he got a lucky kill or 2 and put him to level 6 very, very quickly as well. Those factors definitely helped out in terms of laning against Pycat.
Yeah, I think that the initial wasting their time was more sort of something where LGD slightly misplayed it, but definitely the other kills that he got when he TP'd mid and came and got himself a kill. It was really just, I guess, a couple lucky circumstances going the way of Orange Esports, and it still required the right decision making. It required him to waste all of LGD's time in their own jungle early on to make that decision to TP mid rather than go back to top lane where he could get XP and farm and contest the anti-mage. So he has made the right decisions, but it has been sort of in the right place at the right time and not always and always with a bit of luck going his way. But unfortunately, we're here with another long pause. I think we've exhausted talking about players' girlfriends and whatnot.
Before we talk about players' girlfriends, one thing I want to point out is earlier I talked about how it's going to be difficult for Tidehunter to land that Ravage because everybody's got quite a bit of range. And the last hero being picked up here, Beastmaster, definitely a strength hero that could utilize range of his Beastmaster Roar and Axe as well. But look at the gold on Tidehunter. He's roaming around playing as a full support. He's up to 1,700 gold. We're going to see a Blink Dagger very soon. And if Tidehunter blinks in and drops a Ravage, what is the response on LGD? They don't have a mech to regen everybody. They will soon, eventually. Chen's going to be in a little bit of trouble as well, because even he's going to get caught. And everybody, you can't roar him, you can't lasso him. So it's going to be putting LGD in a very awkward position.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the whole Mushi doesn't need BKB. You have to look at this issue like even deeper. For LGD, that means they have no real reliable disables. They have no real reliable nuke damage. It's all about anti-mage in the late game. They have no actual damage coming out. They have no actual disables coming out. I mean, they've got the disables with a Beastmaster and a Lashu coming from the Batrider, but they don't have any sort of standard short cooldown stuns like a Lina stun, a Sand King stun. These your everyday core disables that you want on your support heroes. They've got a Chen, who's going to just offer a bunch of heals in the late game. Shadow Demon Disruption's more of a setup at this point in the game, but it's going to be hard to scale late game. It's not like Disruption's going to be used really to steal like a strong enemy carry hero. Maybe you can get some Shadow Fiend illusions, but I think more likely we see it used defensively. So LGD&'s lineup as we transition is going to be either they go for a 4-1 split with Anti-Mage just split pushing on his own and the other 4 heroes just looking for pick-offs, but they can't teamfight, that's for sure. There's no way that LGD can teamfight, really. It's going to be really difficult for them to take this game with this draft of theirs.
So do you think LGD, because of how difficult they're going to be split pushing or basically fighting head-on team fight, do you think you go the ultra late game and basically hope that your Beastmaster, Batrider as well as carry a Shadow Fiend? Because Shadow Fiend is the lone carry here. Nyx Assassin could scale decently with some item. Clockwork, he's not too impressive late game. If he gets an Aghanim Scepter, he could be pretty annoying team fight. But Tie Hunter as well as Keeper of Light, these are not exactly your late game beasts in terms of supports.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny thing. Both teams just with the one late game hero. I think LGD have a slightly stronger late game with the Beastmaster and Batrider having 2 reliable ultimates that go through BKB, which essentially means Mushi may not even go for a BKB at any point. This ultimate orb of his could actually be for a Lincoln Sphere, something to consider always. If he was going for a Manta style, generally you get the Yasha first. It's very rare you get the ultimate orb before the Yasha itself, because Yasha is just such a good item on its own. So maybe we're looking at a straight Lincoln Sphere coming out of Mushi here.
Although I think he's just getting it for the HP because
yeah,
there's something to be said about getting the Perseverance first as well. I mean, he's raising a lot, so the regen is definitely very welcome. And of course, Manta Style is just a good item to have to debuff certain spells here coming from the dire side. Are they going to smoke into the... No, they don't have the damage for Roche either. Smoking, not really working out. Rocket Barrage, or Rocket Flare is coming out in the mid lane. Going into the... Where the hell is that rocket flying? Just scoping out behind tier 2. Hook shot coming in from nowhere against GG, gets defensively disrupted. That's a good usage. Illuminate is going to hit though as a result, and that's a kill. KYXY, his performance in this game, stellar.
Yeah, for a player who got sort of known and famous for his soul limit ability, he's really shown a great adeptness at playing this off lane, playing heroes like Darkseid and now Clockwork, and it looks like Orange are going to secure themselves in T1 mid tower. Cogs get dropped. I'm not sure if that was an intended Cogs or not. That one was a little awkward, but the T1 tower will go down nonetheless, it looks like.
Shadow Fiend's gonna grab that last hit, and he's up to 1900 gold, so that could be Yasha if that's what he wants, or Perseverance. Or, I mean, I don't want to guess how many other different items that Ultimate Orb goes into, but those are very, very unlikely.
Yeah, way too many with this. It's like when you see a Morphling pick up an Ultimate Orb, there's like 3 items he can go for. A Lincoln Sphere, 4. Lincolns, Manta, Skadi. There's something else in there as well, which I'm forgetting, but there's just so much you can go for. Side of Vice, I guess, is unheard of. But yeah, there's 3 main items you can go for as a Morphling, which are all commonly bought. But a lot of gold sitting on Mushi. We'll see that next item coming out soon, I imagine. Unfortunately, I think there's some issues with the Singapore servers somewhat. I actually got tweeted by someone saying it seems there's a problem on the Singapore servers. They can't see their animations in game, and they live in Singapore. So if they live in Singapore and they can't see their attack animations, then there's something wrong.
It's pretty sad that we have a game of this caliber, but it's kind of ruined in a sense by all these pauses. We do apologize for the, I guess, the lack of enjoyment, but do you understand that we can't do anything about this? It's not like we could fix a server or anything like that, so hopefully we can make this stream entertaining. One thing I do notice about Nyx Assassin is he does pick up a Vit booster, which is something that we don't see too much from a Nyx Assassin. Is this something, again, like a naked Vit booster, or are we going to see the dreaded Rod of Awful? Or I call it that.
Wow, so much hate.
It's actually not bad. It's actually not bad.
If AUI 2000 heard you, man, that'd be the end of your cred.
Man, AUI 2000 and I do not see eye to eye in many things. But,
I can actually imagine that. I can imagine that. But I don't think it's a Rod of Awful. I don't think it's a harder Tarrasque, at least on it. I think it's going to be a lone Vit booster. At most, it's maybe a Vanguard. But I don't think it needs a Vanguard. I think it's just going to be Vit booster and then...
A value booster, just by itself.
Yeah, it's honestly such a good item. It's so good on its own for its value.
I mean, just think about the fact that you are absorbing a lot more damage, you're returning a lot, and you're staying longer to burn mana. It's not like just the fact that your supports are a lot tankier. It makes teamfight a lot more difficult for them to approach. They see Pycat in the jungle, 900 HP, fairly healthy despite actually rushing for the Battle Fairy first. Rocket's is gonna try to go for that solo kill. He won't have the backup. There's the Impale Mana Bird. He's done. No. Yeah. Pycat, you can see that he's constantly reserving 5 charges on the wand, so that means he will always have Blink Mana.
And at this point in the game, they can't really kill Pycat without SF unless they have all other 4 heroes like chain disabling him, because those other 4 heroes, apart from SF, just don't do damage, really. Not to an anti-mage at least. Even just with the 1 point in Spell Shield, that 26% is going to negate a lot of the damage coming out from Nyx Assassin. Apparently, I mean, Nyx Assassin potentially could be going for a Bloodstone here. He's got the Arcane Boots, which he could disassemble. That would be some very fringe item choice coming out from Nyx Assassin.
I just want to say that 2-Step from Hell has made a return.
Yeah.
You just had some epic-ass commentary talking about a Vit booster. I don't know, I don't understand, but...
It's not as epic as last time where there was actually like
a team fight going on. Yeah, that was pretty
This
insane.
time it was the Vit booster.
Oh, man. Blink Dagger's up on Tie Hunter, and I don't think he was actually seen just yet, so the next team fight could be pretty bad for Orange. And I feel like with this Blink Dagger being picked up, Shadow Fiend could venture out very, very far and feel relatively safe. It is going to be a Linken's Fair, yeah. Against Beastmaster War, against Flaming Lasso. It's one of those things that you talk about in your off-gaming, like saying, yeah, you know, he could get it, but you don't ever see players end up doing it. And we finally do see it. It's not a Mansa, which is such a common core item. Between Shadowblade and a Linken's, he's not going to die.
He's not going to die, but he's going to still do damage. He's got a lot of plus damage just from his passive, as well as, I mean, you get the minus armor as well. So, all in all, he's not going to be a hard carry just yet. But I think, imagine after this Linken's Feed, then he looks for a damage item. The problem is if he goes Manta Style now, it's another item which doesn't give him a whole lot of damage. So more likely, maybe we see something like a crit, maybe even just something like a Desolator, something to give him some more damage. Desolator could really work well to bring down armor even more and make some squishy targets like this anti-mage be very easy to kill.
Well, for now, they're going to be working on this Tier 2 tower. Tier 2 is basically done, and it looks like the Dire is going to go for a trade, but there's Glyph up on the Radiant side. I don't think they're going to get that trade, and pushing against the Clockwork is always dangerous. Tie Hunter's got the Blink. Is he going to be initiating? There's a Blink. It's only going to get 1437, as well as a couple of creeps. There's a disruption. Those creeps are working on the tower. They're going to focus on 1437. He gets sent back. Misery is going to be the sole person dying there. That Blink Dagger, very, very underwhelming.
I think the Shadow Poison scattered it out. That Shadow Poison from 1437 it didn't quite hit Titan, but I think it got close enough to see him, because as soon as that Shadow Poison went out and nearly hit the Titan, the entire LGD international team half a second later were retreating. Only Shadow Demon couldn't retreat fast enough, and I think they saw it with that Shadow Poison, and as a result they backed off just in time. They at least saw the Titan and maybe expected him to maybe have a blink.
It's very easy for observers like us to be able to click around all these items, but having a split-second reaction to fire the Shadow Poison, click on a tie, see the blink, and then immediately react to back off. It's definitely a lot more difficult than what we're pointing out, making it sound like.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And for Orange Esports, I mean, even though it's just they get a Chen at the end of the day for a Tide Ravage, it's still, they hold their tier 2. It's got down nice and low, but they're still the ones sort of in slightly better control of this game, although it's very much in the balance. And the thing that's making this game really somewhat slow pace, only 10 kills to 4 right now, is the fact that neither team have really a secondary carry, neither team with a semi-carry whatsoever.
Yeah, and it doesn't help the fact that there is carry with the blink, and the other carry has Shadowblade and Linken's here. With Hawk flying around, with the fact that there's the Blink Dagger tied, it's difficult for either team to get these successful ganks off. And 1437 roaming the jungle, should be very careful. The Clock Hook just a bit away. 1437 just sweating it up right now.
He walks away as if like nothing happened, like no big guys.
I'm actually very curious to see what G is going to be getting. He's got that Ogre Club first. If you're going to go for a Acceptor, generally you start with the Point Cruiser. I don't imagine it's going to be a Black King Bar, although... Is it going to be
Black
heavy
King Bar is
salvo?
great against this Radiant roster. The only damage outside of nukes and stuns is coming from SF right clicks, and with a Lincoln Sphere, he's not doing as much damage as he otherwise would, but BKB is generally picked up. I mean, you're BKB and you're not really doing much during your BKB. Sure, you stay alive, but you're not actually doing any damage as a Beastmaster. So I think Ag Scepter is slightly more likely, but it just doesn't seem like the conventional way to do it.
Yeah, so I'm just very confused. I guess another way to go about it is also Heaven's Halberd. You could burn a Lincoln's charge if you want to really go for it. Lincoln's or Heaven's into Roar is definitely an option, but he definitely has enough go to pick up this Sage if that's what he wants. Another set of Disconnect as Pycat is going to be getting that tower for free, although there is still a Glyph available if the Radiant team really wants to defend, although I don't think that's likely.
Yeah, it looks like Orange are going just for a bit of a counter push at mid lane. And I think LGD, well, they can easily get this tier 2 bottom and then come back to defend. Alternatively, they look to keep on pushing on, maybe try force out some TPs, because I think if they push onto the tier 3s, they may force out some TPs, force some TPs back from these mid heroes. Extinct is there waiting in the trees with a Blink Ravage, but I think LGD may not even come back to defend this.
Yeah, LGD. Well, I mean, that tier 2 is it's very, very important for the Roshan purposes, but they definitely don't have enough time to really go for it. Glyph is available, so we'll see. Chen is definitely one of the most immobile heroes. His army can't exactly teleport with you. Glyph is going to get forced out on the bot and most likely not forced out in the mid, at least not just yet.
Radiant's bottom tower's done for.
Well, I mean, it looks like the good news, well, the bad news is unfortunately that teams get, it doesn't quite have that same feel where teams get all this, they have to make split seconds reactions. I mean, LGD can really discuss all the possibilities. Do we TP back? Do we look to take the fight? What do we actually look to try and do here? But unfortunately, we do have these continuous pauses, which is, I mean, it's better than playing with disconnected or players who are spiking really hard, but it does give players a lot more time to actually decide what they want to be doing.
Brax calls out free frag as there is Clockwork in middle of about 4 heroes. And KYXY is...
He's not impressed.
Yeah. At least he got a little bit mana burn against Pycat, for what that's worth. But,
that stuff hurts. That mana burn is just...
Ooh, Tower's gonna be in deny range for Pycat. They're gonna clean that one up, I think.
You can deny. I mean, it's still gold they're going to be giving away, I guess. Not quite as much as they would otherwise, but it's also one less tower that LGD International can TP to. Especially as Roshan is up, that's something which may be a point of contention soon. So having those towers up near the Roshan pit can be very useful. And going towards late game, you want to keep the tier 2 at mid as well as bottom up alive as long as possible.
Yeah, this game definitely has some very, very interesting item choice. We talked about the Vitaly booster on Nyx Assassin. We talked about Lincoln Sphere on Shadow Fiend. And now we see a Voice Stone on Keeper of the Light. This is... we're seeing something that we don't ever see.
A slow way of building a Sign of Ice. Well, I guess you just want the piece by piece. I mean, it could be a Yule Scepter.
If you're going Yules, you should get Staff of Wizardry first.
Yeah. If you're going Side of Ice, you want to get Ultimate Orb first.
I have no idea what this game's developing.
If you're going Refresher Orb, you may want to get the Void Stone first, though.
I do believe Refresher Orb Keeper is pretty legit.
Alternatively, yeah, Lincoln Sphere, I guess, is a possibility, but once again, Ultimate Orb is the sort of more logical item choice there. But I imagine it's just a Side of Ice. He's thinking, I think he looked at this game and says, holy crap, how do we end this game before 45 minutes? And well, we probably don't. Let's start building a Side of Ice. Buy the piece while you can.
Speaking of which, this game has been going for 40-45 minutes because of all the lags and stuff. So,
yeah.
Again, all the viewers at home, kudos to you. Pat it on the back for staying up or staying late, wherever you guys are. Just waking up early to watch this game. You were talking about the lack of damage on Shadow Fiend. Today, guys, you are getting all the reads correct. It is going to be a Crystallis. Just to make sure that he picks up all the damage.
Yeah. I think he needs it more than the Man Style. Well, not correct on the Beastmaster. He went for the BKB, so we'll see a BKB out first. Maybe, I imagine of Vlad's is going to be what he wants. You need to get the Auric, provide it for the Anti-Mage as well as just, it helps give you a much stronger teamfight composition.
Yeah, I feel like the Beastmaster BKB is going to be very useful as a counter initiation method because you know the Tidehunter is going to blink in and Ravage basically half your team. So if G's going to have quick enough reaction, he should be able to BKB and then roll whoever else that's going to be initiating together. Whether it's going to be a Shadow Fiend walking in, whether it's going to be a Clockwork hooking in, or of course a Blink Dagger coming in from Nyx Assassin as well. So again, he's not going to do much aside from dropping that roar, aside from like he does actually have decent, attack speed and damage output, but it's It's so odd to see a Beastmaster using BKB because he's not a high impactful hero after dropping his spells.
And the one thing I'm surprised that we're not seeing much of, well, we've seen one on the Radiant side. They have a gem, but the Dire team, LGD.int, don't have one of their own. They could be looking to deward a lot more of this map. Alternatively, they could have gone for maybe a Necrobook build on Beastmaster to help with the dewarding and map control, but it's only this Radiant team, Nyx Assassin, who's got himself a gem right now, and as a result, it's Orange who are controlling the tempo of this game much more, and they're the ones who are going to be looking maybe to take Roshan as well.
Yep, they're definitely heading that near that area, and with max presence of the Dark Lord, as well as a Gush, it could be a fairly easy, although somebody's got to debuff it first. Shan Creep is there to scope things out, so they definitely do know. And let's see, it's actually going to be very difficult to do against a Bat Rider when she's napalming you using Flame Break. There's a Flame Break pushing them back, and it looks like, he's actually right up on the cliff, and he could be easily nuked down. The Firefly doing a lot of damage. KYXY forced to pop the Mech Mushi right now. It's going to get the Aegis. Oh, Brax looking to pick it up. He does not get it. He's going to get picked off as a result. Very, very unlucky break. Nice attempt. Wow, though. Pycat gonna get the bot tower. A lot of time being wasted here. Pycat should be able to blink out just fine.
I think that's okay for LGD, and they didn't need to lose Bat Rider there, but it was one of those things where he figures there's maybe a 10-15% chance of selling Aegis, so he may as well go for it. Problem is now LGD, and they give up these 2 kills here. They stayed around too long around the Roshan pit. They give up both the Keeper of the Light as well as the Shadow Demon. And things are starting to fall apart all of a sudden. It's all in the Antimate's left living, and he's going for some like crazy split push style of play here, but he's going to worry about a tier 1 tower before he worries about tier 3s.
Maybe he's going to back to the tier 1. It's actually fairly high in HP, but he's going to go for it. He does have the Mantis out. That's one. Yeah, he will Mantis out right now. It's up to 4.2k gold, now 4.7. So his damage output is going to be absolutely insane as well. Do you think it's going to be the heart for a little bit of HP tanking or straight butterfly?
Generally,
or BKB actually.
I think Heart of Trask is the safest and most standard way of doing this. Oh, I don't know why Mushi's going to go for a big ult here on Pycat.
Oh, those crits!
I was about to say the ultimate was never going to do a lot of damage there. He wasn't quite positioned on top of him. He's got all these points in spell shield. I guess it gives you some slow, but one blink away, that was never going to work. But at the same time, Mushi's got all the HP and mana regen in the world because of this Lincoln Sphere pickup. But
data list already completed. This is a very good point to pick up a Yasha and go back to your Mantas. Not only do you hit a lot, the attack speed will be starting to be extremely beneficial. Or if you want to go ultra late game, Butterfly is also an option. I mean, might as well, right? You're not dying in between Shadowblade and Lincoln Sphere. If you want to go for a Butterfly who does give you decent damage as well as another form of survivability. I also love the way that Shadowfiend's using his Shadowblade. He's constantly farming in the enemy jungle. If he sees a support roaming in there by themselves, it's a free kill. If not, he's farming the enemy jungle. He's fairly safe with Aegis, Shadowblade, and again, Lincoln. So, again, love the way that he's using his item and positioning himself.
Yeah, the question is, like you say, does he go back for the Manta now? Does he go? I think even just go for another damage item. Sell the Magic Wand, get some DPS. I mean, Desolator having extra minus armor is really can make a big difference against this Anti-Mage. Bat Rider and Beastmaster as well. Bat Rider doesn't have any armor. He's sitting on 4 armor. If you get a Desolator, minus 6 armor, you'll be killing this Bat Rider in 3 or 4 shots. And for Mushi, being able to kill any hero except maybe Anti-Mage in 3 or 4 right clicks, and even less if you get a big crit, is a big thing here going into late game. Actually,
it's something to be said that if you get a high damage item and let's say you don't kill the Anti-Mage because he always blink out, that's fine because you remove him from the team fight, you make him play a lot more timid, he can't actually be in a frontal position despite having Manta Battle Fury where he wants to be in a frontal position. So that's an absolutely fine. If you just force him back, you basically quote-unquote won the battle already.
Yeah, and just while we're paused, we're about to be unpaused, but for those of you guys wanting to watch a game with some fewer pauses, LD is actually streaming over on the Beyond the Summit 1 channel. He's casting the We Play Dota 2 League, which Beyond the Summit will be covering, but looks like things are good and ready to go here in the GEST Challenge. Big thanks to everyone who has endured the pauses with us, as it looks like we are ready to go once again here.
They're enduring it for the girlfriend story, so it's okay.
I think they actually want more pauses.
Yeah, to listen to girlfriend stories. As well as rock, paper, scissors. Come on.
Yeah. Who's actually winning right now? I think Orange Esports were up 2-1 at last check.
Forstaff gets added here to Nyx Assassin's item choice. I love the fact that Forstaff is going to have a very positive interaction with Shadowfiend. Like, he gets roared, Forstaff him back out. And that's over the Lincoln and Shadowblade.
And even just when he's chasing heroes down to kill him off, because, I mean, these are some I mean, you got 4-stuff on Bat Rider. He's going to have to do some chasing. Even chasing here is like anti-mage and stuff. Having a 4-stuff just to help him catch up, do some additional DPS, hope for those big crits can make a big difference.
Yeah. Shadow Fiend definitely, actually, fairly impressive goal per minute here. 642, leading over the anti-mage, who's basically had mostly free farm throughout the game. Gonna force out a little bit of teleport squirrels. It feels like Orange Esports got LGD's number, whether it's in split pushing, whether it's in team fighting. Mushi's constantly in the front line, and he's gonna force. Well, there's a purge being used, and he's gonna basically back out for free and defend their tower. Now, there is something to be said with the bot Rex being fully naked. You never want to see anti-mage coming in and basically ruin your day by taking that Rex. It's
the big worry for Orange. They're confident that they're in a slight lead here, but at the same time, they have to constantly worry about the anti-mage split push, keep these lanes pushed out, and put a lot of focus on just maintaining this creep momentum, pushing outwards. We do see a Clockwork Ultimate Orb. Are we looking at Scythe of Ice, or are we looking at Lincoln Sphere?
I'm thinking Scythe of Ice. I feel like if he eats a Beastmaster Roar, if he eats a Flaming Lasso, that's actually good for your team, right? I mean, that means Shadow Fiend's not losing a Lincoln. That means your, let's say, your Nyx Assassin is not eating a Roar. So I think Scythe of Ice is going to add ultimately more value for the team, and that should be its item choice.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. We'll see. And this is basically, I think Orange have actually been preparing for like the 50+ minute late game from about the 15-minute mark. I think they realized they were going there. Like the keeper of the Void Stone, he's building what looks to be a Scythe of Ice. I mean, it's the most logical item choice with this Void Stone. He's also got a big chunk of gold, which suggests we'll see either an Ultimate Orb or a Mystic Staff being picked up in a second. He's sitting on 700 HP. That's what amazes me. Net is sitting on 777 HP right now. He could even get the Ultimate Orb and get up to about 1k HP, but he's not doing so.
I mean, he hasn't actually seen a hero for about 33 minutes, so...
He's been involved in 2 kills.
Yeah.
Not that he's played badly by any means.
I mean, he's playing the way that a 700 HP hero should be playing. You know, stay back, nuke some creeps, do your job.
Ahayo's been in 13 of the 14 kills. He's been the one sending up the kills, as you'd expect. Him and Clockwork are the ones who sort of control the game for Orange. As for LGD.int, well, they just don't really have... I mean, Bat Rider as well as Beastmaster can roam around a bit, but they haven't had much success in doing so.
Ooh, Pycat will find himself a 700 HP hero. There's a Manta. No, it does not debuff that Mana Leak. And
he decided not to go blinking in for that one. He did go for... I mean... Oh, Courier! He's going to get it.
For the Radiance Courier.
What was on it?
Did you see what was on it?
What did Mushi bought something?
Yeah, Mushi had about 4k gold, or 5k gold, and now he's gone, so it was a big ticket item.
Maybe Mantis or Desolator, I'd say. One of those 2 items.
In any case, I do want to point out that Anti-Mage does have that BKB, and preventing that item being delivered, it's going to be absolutely huge. Look at him, already going on that backdoor attempt.
This game is, unless LGD make a bit of a mistake, which Orange capitalize on, this game could go an awful long time.
Not sure if all of us are ready for long games, but...
Well, Clockwork trying to continue what he's been doing from the start, mana burning on that Anti-Mage, but Anti-Mage with a much bigger pool all around.
Shadow Fiend will be doing the exact same thing, doing a little bit of split pushing up top. Yeah, the BKB picked up, I feel like normally would be very, very good, and it's a very necessary item in this game against the Mana Burns, the Ravage, as well as the Impale, but Shadow Fiend's got your number. Like, whatever item he has on the Courier, as well as what he has now, he's going to crit you for 800 or something, and your BKB is not going to be too useful there.
Yeah, so we'll have to look to see. Maybe we'll see even a BKB up on this Bat Rider at this point. I think he can benefit a lot from one as well. The 2 supports over on the LGD. Chen, Blink Dagger, okay. I mean, hey, you want to get in position for that. It's all about the test of faith with this. Make sure he can basically, if Anti-Mage is getting 5-man gank, he can blink in, test of faith, and maybe save his life. So at this point in the game, I think he realizes that, like, what else are you going to get as a Chen that's going to have a positive impact? Maybe a 4-star is slightly better, but I think he decides Blink Dagger.
I can't tell if you're sarcastic or not.
I don't know. How else do you see this Blink Dagger coming into play?
I don't.
It's the Blink test of faith saves.
Okay.
He can sit way back in the fight, and then when he sees his carry hero getting focused down, he's like, oh crap, I'm out. I'm like, because like, you're never in position where you're already in range. You always have to walk in at least for like
why not
half
Force
a second
Staff?
or a second.
It's just better stats, right? It's more applicable. You're gonna stay back anyways.
Cheaper man. He's on the budget. He can't afford that 4-star yet. Well, he could now maybe. It's like 150 gold difference. This is a poor man's 4-star, I guess.
All right.
I don't know. It's definitely not conventional, but I think I mean, it does give you some other useful things which a 4-staff might not. But
Yeah, precise positioning is definitely one of the best thing in the game, and I think it is, like you said, it's the blink test sandbag. Although how useful it end up would be is the thing. I feel like all these items that the Dire is getting right now, it just gets completely quote unquote countered by Mushi's build. Mushi's just going flat out damage, which laugh at your Tesla face sandbags, which laugh at your BKBs.
Courier's about to respawn. I'm curious what he actually bought.
I'm actually hoping it's a Desolator, but
Yeah.
I imagine Manta style is going to be the more...
Manta.
Yeah, Manta's going to be the more standard choice. Which is fine. I mean, even his illusions gets crits, so...
Absolutely, and he's gonna have he's gonna have another big item soon if he wants it. Although he may just want that slot for the Aegis, which is gonna be coming up in 2 minutes. He didn't even use his last Aegis for anything; it just expired. So, once again, LGD.int, they can't. I think they realize they are. They can't really. There's no real way for them. They can't really have a game plan right now. Their game plan is just to sit and wait for a mistake from Orange. There's no way they can just say, hey, if we do this and this, we win the game. All they can do is hope that this split push from Antimage causes Orange to get really annoyed and frustrated so that they make a mistake in position.
Well, they're definitely bullying these supports around. These supports are actually dying to 2 illusions. Oh my god, they're cleaning up. Jesus.
Do you see a way that LGD, like, if you're LGD, like, what's your game plan here to actually win the game? I just don't see a way to do that.
I don't see the game plan either. The item that they're buying right now is items that are good for heads-up engagement in about the next 5 minutes. And like you pointed out earlier, Orange's been preparing for the ultra late game since minute 15. Their item purchase are just simply more geared towards it. The late Manta style, for example, the early survivability on Shadow Fiend. They're just absolutely prepared to constantly checking the Roshan. Roshan is what the Dire need, but against a Clockwork, it's just tough to pick it up. Against a Blink Tide, it's tough to pick it up. So,
yeah, and Keeper Light now just 1k gold away from that side of the Vice. Ultimate Orb coming last, which I'm really surprised by. I mean, hasn't died in what, like 30 minutes or something, it feels like, though, so it's not really mattering. He's just not coming to there aren't any fights to come to. When has been the last kill? Well, we've had some recently, but before those, it feels like it was a long time ago.
Another 2,800 gold up on Anti-Mage after purchasing a Butterfly, and so he's quite stacked.
Well,
wait, I don't think Orange could get this Aegis for free, right? The Dire has to challenge this. If Mushi gets the Aegis for free, this game could be just like over.
Yeah. They'll look for maybe another Ninja Steal here.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Somebody pick it up! Bad Blinks in right now! Anti-Mage get it right now, and he's gonna start eating a lot of damage. Hands of God! They're gonna grab Mushi. Somebody's gotta focus him. Where's the Ravage? Ravage not being used just yet. They're waiting for the Anti-Mage. But the BKBs pop. They see Mushi. They pop him up. Tide's dead. And now Anti-Mage is gonna be blinking around to go for the kills. Looks like Ohio in big trouble. And that Blink Dagger of Misery allowing them to keep up. Where's the Spike Carapace? No mana for Spike Carapace. Buyback from Shadow Fiend. Ultra kill on Pycat. How do you win the team fight? I guess that's how.
That's your game plan. I don't know if that was in the actual playbook, but I feel like that was a big Hail Mary coming out. The Blink Dagger Chen, it's legit, and well, that was an unfortunate cogs coming out from KYXY.
That was really unfortunate. Pycat goes to the root of the problem, locating on that bot racks, and he's going to it. And really, everybody's going to be back alive, but that Tide's going to be useless because he doesn't have Ravage. Clockwork Hook's going to be down in about a couple of seconds, although those mana burn things are pretty annoying.
This is the cogs here, and this could well be Raxus.
Well, Pycats have to respect the damage output of that Shadow Fiend, especially with the Manta Illusion, so he's going to back out just fine. But a huge win, that's going to put them slightly, not as far behind in terms of goal lead, but still though, I feel like the Dire don't have a game plan.
Well, they don't have a game plan, but at this, I mean, I don't think either team's really had a game plan for like the last 20 minutes. Both teams just being, well, we can't really win the game with any clear-cut strategy. All we can do is just build for late game, because from like 15 minutes in, both teams could tell, like, how are we going to win? Our drafts don't really have a way of pushing and winning a team fight, or at least dealing with this split push. So they're like, okay, the only way to do this is start farming Scythe of Vice, start farming all these big late game items.
Right, but here's the thing though. Like, that's what exactly the Radiant team is doing. The Dire team's buying BKB Blade Mails up on Beastmaster. Like, these items aren't going to win you a 60-minute game, and I'm not sure.
BKBs will help in the like the fight around Roshan. That was the perfect Roshan to contest because they had just gotten a couple BKBs with Batrider and Beastmaster having their BKBs up, Anti-Mage as well.
But here's the thing, they would have lost that fight if the Cogs didn't block the Aegis from Mushi. I really believe that.
I'm not convinced that they would have though, because I think with the 3 BKBs, it's only Mushi who can do damage. All other four heroes are essentially useless with those BKBs.
Sure.
During the BKB duration, they should theoretically kill off the Keeper of the Light, maybe force out a bad Ravage. If not, they force out a bad Ravage. They just kill the type without him casting Ravage. And then you've got Nyx Assassin who you can bring down. I think Mushi kind of gets left on his own. Maybe he takes down 2 or 3 heroes with him, but it's definitely a sort of an even fight at worst for LGD, and even if they get the Aegis, I think.
That's a very, very good point. Although, if PyCat blinks in and didn't get the Aegis, you know,
Yeah.
story would have been very, very different. So yeah, it's actually definitely hard to tell, even the high side with all the information that we have. But for now, Anti-Mage still doing work. Anti-Mage, by the way, eating up basically the entire map's farm, but despite of that, the supports are in the jungle. And Misery, I guess the Blink Dagger is also helpful when you see enemy heroes coming in. You could just blink away to safety.
And the best news here for me for LGD is all their BKBs are still 9 or 10 seconds. Beastmaster hasn't used his, Batrider and Antimate still sitting on 9 seconds. They've really been like preserving them for these team fights coming. Antimate's now Heart of Tarrasque. He's not quite 6-slot, just needs to sell those Tranquil boots for some boots of travel, I imagine, and well then he's good to go.
And here's a big item being finished. Scythe of Vice up on Keeper of the Light. That's going to be the Monkey Wrench in LG's plan. BKB is nice if you get to activate it. And Scythe of Vice, last time I checked, instant cast range, or instant cast animation. So you could get something pretty good.
Well, Clockwork nowhere near his after that recent buy. He's going to be sitting on this Ultimate Orb for probably a good while now, unless we see Orange winning a team fight. But if Orange win a big team fight, I feel like they just go mid and end the game. But winning a team fight against these BKBs and against an Anti-Mage who has now 3k HP is going to be nearly impossible.
There is a Monkey Pink bar being picked up here on the Shadow Fiend, precisely what the Doctor ordered against the Butterfly of the Anti-Mage.
That's the good news. That's why I think for Orange it's like, hey, we'll give you the Aegis because we want Mushi to have another big item.
Well, I'm not sure if that's the reason. That's the logic behind giving the Aegis. By the way, PyCat pretty much maxed out. He's going to switch his boots to a Boot of Travel.
Needs to be careful top. If he gets scythed up here, almost
man.
catches him.
Maybe they should have waited for the Keeper to go in first.
He was going to blink away. He just finished clearing the creep wave. I think he was going to back off anyways with it. He may as well blink away to be more efficient there. It was like Keeper of the Light was like half a second too late there. That was really close. I don't know if they actually kill him though. If they sheep him up, do they actually kill him?
Man,
they get some crit.
Shadow Fiend's damage output and the fact that he's not missing, he's gonna kill him. He's critting for 1,000 right now, so looks like he's gonna want to go for that tower on top. And I don't know. I'm not sure if you want to base race. You do have Shadow Fiend, which is pretty insane.
Well, it looks like LGN don't want to play that game. They're all TPing back. Antimage isn't in a position to basically take Raxus at bottom, so he's going to come to the fight. He has 2 lives as well, so he can just go crazily into the fight and not have to worry about it.
Radiant's backing off. I guess Chen is just basically using his creeps as split pushers at this point, which, I mean, they're big creeps. You could definitely give your creep away the momentum, although Illuminate's going to stop that short. I mean, at this point of the game, like, I feel like Anti-Mage is so maxed out, but he's not actually strong enough to carry against the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, the good news is, I mean, it's a Shadow Fiend who can, I mean, you've got the Lincoln Sphere to help deal with the Raw and the Batrider, but you've got no BKB, so even stuff like Disruption, like on a Shadow Fiend, can really cause him problems. I mean, it's 2-3 seconds where he gets disrupted, isn't attacking. Same thing with just a Flame Break. You Flame Break, you push Mushi out of position. Not having a BKB, I mean, it hurts even just against these sort of spells which you don't get a BKB for, but as a result, you kind of wish you actually had one.
Speaking of Shadow Fiend, he's pretty maxed out as well, so he's probably going to switch his Tress. Looks like, oh, Anti-Mage's going to run into the Shadow Fiend. And they're actually looking for a fight each other. Where's the Impale? There's the Impale. Do they have a Scythe Ravage being used? They got a hook shot. Perfect chain stun. Wow! They see Misery. Misery, by the way, no mana for a blink. Uh-oh. He's going to get scythed up. There's a buyback from Anti-Mage, but they're going to get the Misery on there as well. The Illusion doing all sorts of damage. Mushi on the middle of the fight here. They pick up Shadow Demon instantly. They're going to grab him. Can you actually burst him down? Yes, you can. Does he have the buyback? That's the question. Yes, he does. He's coming back. He's going to get recall, but Anti-Mage doing all sorts of damage as well. He gets 1 kill on the tie. He's looking for KYXY. Oh, Shadow Fiend's back. He sees PyCat. PyCat trying to blink back out. He's fine as well. There's no Blink Dagger on the chase here on Ohio. No mana up. So that team fight, both carries spot back, both carries got a couple kills, and it's not clear who won that team fight.
Yeah, I think this is just a big old reset right now. As I mean, with both carriers buying back, I mean, they are going to be on cooldown for some time now. So this next fight is going to be what decides it potentially. Batrider, his Lasso on cooldown, but the Beastmaster Roar is up, and Lasso is coming off cooldown in about 10 seconds time.
Uh-oh. They just need a Mana Void to pop the Lincolns. But no, looks like they're going to engage over here as well. They see, Keeper, Roar, BKB being used very, very over-committing of resource.
Yeah.
And I think that perhaps no was not the best move. But regardless, they're going to go for a worse Impale from Ohio. No Impale just yet. Look at Mushi just shredding him apart.
Mushi's done it! He's broken through. I thought he was caught out of position there. He was in a bit of a dangerous position. The problem is, they roared the Keeper of the Light. They needed to save that roar. I thought he was maybe going to use it on the Nyx Assassin. If they'd killed off the Nyx Assassin there, it could have been a decent use of the roar, but Mushi comes back in. There's no roar. Batrider didn't have mana for a Lasso. He was out of mana. He was sitting on about 120 mana. He needed 150, and Mushi, well, there wasn't anything to deal with him. He just critted himself to victory, and that was without lifesteal. Batrider going to buy back, but there's no anti-mage buyback. Beastmaster as well, no buyback on him, and things are now suddenly looking very, very ugly for LGD International.
Butcher Travel gets swapped up here, and he's going to be teleporting to his Creep Wave, and I just don't think the Dire team could hold this. They're going to try to use their, Shadow Poisons. They're trying to use Flame Break, but here comes Mushi, fat as heck. Gonna pop that Manta, Blink Dagger Initiation. Look at 1437! And as well as Batrider, none of them, they just blinked and they died. Wow, Mushi showing that the Shadow Fiend carry is still very much so alive.
Yeah, the Shadow Fiend carry is just working wonders here for Orange Esports, and it took him some time. It feels like it took a lot longer than it actually did. A 47, 48-minute game so far, but they've finally taken Raxus here. Took them a lot of pauses here. They're going to swing top as well. They want another set here. They want to try seal the killing blow here. And with Antimate still dead for 15 seconds, that's really the one thing. With Antimate back alive, maybe LGD can hold it. It'll be at least 2 sets here. I think Orange look to back off after they get themselves these second set of Raxus, but they're not even going to do that. Clockwork initiates in. They're going to find G here. If they bring down Beastmaster, the problem is Antimate on his own can't defend. If both Batrider and Beastmaster are dead, what can this Antimate actually do?
Nothing. Really nothing. I mean, like I said, he was maxed out and he couldn't outcarry the Shadow Fiend. There's a Blink Dagger from Misery for doing some work, but yeah. One fell swoop. Orange Esports is going to get 3 Raxus. This is absolutely insane. Blink Ravage is going to be the use here. It's just a delay. They're going to focus on the Anti-Mage, and here comes Mushi. Offensive Disruption or Defensive Disruption. That's a one-hit KO. My god. It looks like Shadow Fiend. He's going to be fine with the Shadow Blade. No detection up on the Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage. Well,
I don't think he's got much left in. Mushi, is he going to turn around? He's got buyback. Oh no, he's got no buyback, but he's going to make a play for this enemy. He's going to fight Pike. I don't know if he's going to come out on top now. Mushi, he should have just backed off, I think, there. He's got no buyback, and Orange has just given away 4 kills.
it's fine.
I hope so.
It's definitely not the clean play. There is Butcher Travel up on the Anti-Mage.
Does anyone have buyback?
Let's
okay,
quickly check.
Clockwork and Nixus. Oh, everyone has buyback except Mushi. Okay, fantastic.
Mushi's buyback's down for about a minute, and they are going to be all buying back. If not for the psychological defense against Anti-Mage. Podcast says we don't care. We're going to just charge right in. This is probably our best chance of winning. Nyx Assassin also has buyback, but not using it for now.
I think he's going to try to use that surprise factor. Do they need to go for it, or they're going to go for Roshan instead? But it's not like Pycat has any room for an Aegis and Cheese. I think it's more just to deny it from the opposition. Also get the Aegis and Cheese up on Beastmaster as well as Batrider, but there's just too much relying on Pycat. They don't have a secondary source of damage right now.
Gonna be a pause. Is LGD completely out of this game yet?
Well, no. I mean, I thought they were, but
if Mushi was alive, then the game was pretty much over, right?
If Orange took the 2 racks, okay. When the Tide blinked in and ravaged, Mushi went to the fight. He could have maybe taken another Rax there, which I think it's okay. He was looking for a kill on the Anti-Mage, but after that fight was going bad, he should have just ran. He turned around and tried to fight the Anti-Mage, which is a bit of a mistake here, but it's mistakes that a lot of players would make. He probably thought he could out-DPS the Anti-Mage, and the one thing which turned it against him was the Manta style still being up on Pycat, but
sure.
This Aegis and Cheese, I don't think it's going to help LGD as much as, well, it normally would. Normally at 50 minutes, getting an Aegis and Cheese in a late game scenario is fantastic, but They can't really give it to Pycat unless he drops what? He's going to drop his BKB maybe for
No,
the...
I mean, it's like what you said. It's not about them getting it. It's more denying it to Orange Esport because Orange up by 2 Raxes and getting the Aegis and Cheese, it's almost game over. If not game over. So
Mushi will happily drop his Shadow Blade for that.
sure, yeah. He doesn't need a Shadow Blade, especially with the
Pycat
Linkets.
always items. The Battle Fury less so, but even I still feel it's a pretty... well, he does need it because he's up against, well, 2 lanes of pretty damn strong creeps. So... this is really... I don't think LGD are out of this, but it's going to take a few more mistakes like we just saw from Orange Esports. Not so much mistakes, but just sort of overextensions, getting a bit too excited there. I think Orange had thought they'd got this game, and Mushi's like, okay, I can go back in and fight again, but it wasn't the case. Nyx Assassin saving his goal. I think Nyx Assassin doesn't want to have to buy back. I think it's like, let's use 3 buybacks, we'll save the 4th. Nyx Assassin with 4.2k gold. They'd like maybe another side of Vice or something, and it looks like the 2 teams are ready to go. So Roshan will go. I can only imagine Batrider and Beastmaster taking the Aegis and Cheese here. But
I mean, neither of these heroes, again, once they use their spells, are basically just big distractions in the team fight. Mech is going to get pop here just to sustain this Rosh. And let's see how they distribute the Aegis and Cheese. Again, I love the item purchase that G is going. You know, BKB, Blade Mail, trying to be as useful as possible after dropping his spells, but that's not what the hero really does.
yeah. Oh, they're going to go for a smoke gank here. Oh, the Clockwork Rocket, I think, came in about half a second too late. This is really the smart decision at this point. It's that complexity smoke gank. And, well, problem is, I think Orange will quickly realize that something is up because top lane is not being defended.
Yep, completely that's the case here. They see Misery deep in the enemy jungle, has a teleport scroll, not teleporting back, so they know. Here we go, the Tide. Tide could actually safely stay in the front because Crag Exterior will always allow him to, or Kraken Shell will always allow
going
the
for Axis. Mushi just TP'd into the enemy base. He takes the range tracks first. He's just going to chip away at these tier 4 towers with illusions. He actually... He got recalled back from the Keep of the Light.
What a smart play, using the 2 Manta to basically drive a couple of TP backs. And, you know, that's basically when we put them in a safe position to go back in the jungle and look for a couple of kills.
How annoying is that? LGD are like, let's try and make something happen. We've got this smoking happening, and Mushi TP's in, and 2 seconds later, he gets recalled back, and he's already taken he takes a range rack, which at this point, getting 1 step closer to those mega creeps, it's worth bringing down a range racks. And well, now Orange is just going to go barreling down this bottom lane. It looks like they're happy to just 5-man bottom, even up against Aegis and G's.
Shadow Fiend does have that buyback, so we'll be able to join back in fights, although keep in mind that he'll lose a big bulk of his soul, so a right click will be slightly weakened, but more importantly, that Requiem soul would not be as impressive. But for now, still the strongest hero on the map, and all he really needs to do is find anti-mage in the next fight and just A-click him, and basically let his teammates to disrupt and carry the load the rest.
Well, they bring down the Hawk as well, which is actually a pretty useful pick-off here. That's something which could give LGD a lot of information, but Illuminate scouts in the trees, and now the siege begins. This is what we can see happen. Just keep sending on the illusions. It's going to be a big BKB pursuit. They want Mushi. He has got buyback, like you mentioned. He's going to have to use it. They bring him down right off the bat. Great play from LGD International. Is this going to be enough? Pycat's looking for more. He's going to move on to the Nyx Assassin. Unfortunately, gets stunned up by Campera's. Tyrevit is there. Mushi's back in the fight. He's going to bring down Pycat. Oh no, Pycat, he blinked out and just in time.
No, he got sent back by Chan. That Misery test of faith doing some work. So if they hold this one more fight, they could actually do it. Now the problem is no more Beastmaster Roar, no more Flaming Lasso. They still have a purge from Shadow Demon. So if a spell burns away that Lincoln, they could still go for the kill. But not for now, as the Raxus on top and mid, allowing their lane to be fully exposed. LGD has to defend this. And Radiant not feeling as confident. Shadow Fiend needs to find some souls again. And this game perhaps not out of reach from LGD.
Not completely out of range. They're just buying time, getting themselves... Well, I mean, they don't need more farm in the Anti-Mage at this point, really. Maybe they look to get him a new BKB. Anti-Mage is buying wards for the team. He just bought Observers and Sentries. I love it. Late game, I mean, you may as well at this point.
Buy wards, buy smokes, shoot.
Yeah, he should be buying all of it at this point in the game. The only other luxury thing he gets is maybe a new BKB, but 10-second BKB is great, but the problem is that 10-second BKB has an 80-second cooldown compared to a 55-second cooldown, so it's not always going to be the better choice having the 10-second BKB.
Well, again, it's not... I'm not sure if the BKB is the issue. It's really the right clicks coming from Shadow Fiend. It's just absolutely insane. I wonder if he's going to get a new item. I don't think he needs to, at least at this point. Not convincingly, like he needs a Divine or something. Like, it's not like he's not doing enough damage. I feel like he's not tanking enough.
Yeah, and at this point, there's nothing you can really swap out. If you swap out the Battle Fury, you have no one. He's the only one who can clear creeps. The Battle Fury has to stay.
Oh, no, I'm talking about Shadow Fiend's item choice.
Shadow Fiend, okay.
Yeah. Again, I feel like he's doing enough damage. I don't think he's tanky enough, but that's not really the fault of his item choices. I feel like this is a very good build.
I think the Lincoln Sphere, Lincoln Sphere has to stay because otherwise he gets brought down too easily, and just without a BKB up, there's no way of him staying alive.
Manta Style's gonna work on the creep wave and perhaps destroy a building or two, but this bot Rax slowly regenning HP. And again, the Dire, despite having Anti-Mage on the team, they can't push out.
Well, the Manta Illusions actually do some decent damage here. I mean, 500, 400 damage at the bottom racks here, but it will get slowly healed up, so nothing really game-changing, but both teams settling down, and it is still LGD International. They've still got the Aegis on the Batrider here.
We do see the Anti-Mage up to about 7,200 gold. Shadow Fiend 5,600. I mean, these heroes are up to a trust fund, and they literally don't know what to buy. I think at this point, you save for buyback and perhaps a Divine on your career, if that's going to be your desperation win attempt from behind. But again, both teams are just farming away because they just don't see that opening. I think both teams waiting for the next Roshan.
Well, Roshan is well, plenty of time. 5 minutes. I don't know if they're waiting for. I think LGD, they're waiting for anything to happen that isn't going to be. They're not waiting to do something. They're just waiting for Orange to do something.
Yep.
I don't think Roshan coming back up isn't going to affect anything in their plans. I mean, ideally Orange comes at them soon because they want to fight while they still the Aegis on Batrider, but Orange, they're not going to do that. They're going to wait for at least the Aegis to be gone, or maybe just try and find a favorable smoking. They've actually got 4 heroes smoked here, so even with this Aegis still on the playing field, they look to make something happen. And LGD, and for them, it's all about waiting. They haven't got a lineup. They haven't had a game plan for about 30 minutes now, and there's just no obvious game plan which works. They just have to sit back and wait for Orange to do something. That's all their lineup really does.
Anti-Mage not in the fight right now, and looks like Chen has Blink back out, and Teamfight's gonna break out. He's gonna teleport into the board. Board's gonna be fine. Where's the Ravage? It looks like G has to drop his BKB. No stun just yet, and looks like Net is solo. There's the hook shot right on Ravage being dropped. Where's the Anti-Mage? Anti-Mage is in the middle, 5-14-37 dead immediately.
Anti-Mage's TP got cancelled by the Keeper of the Light there. I think Keeper Light killed off the creep he was trying to TP to. And now he's going to show up though. He's got BKB. He's going to try. Oh, he's going to switch over to Mushi. Can he bring down Mushi? Mana Void not going to do quite enough damage. Chen, the blinking Chen!
Oh my god!
Blink Chen is legit as fuck, man. Lumi, this is working.
Oh my goodness, they're gonna win a team fight despite Pycat showing up to the team fight late. Somebody's already back to G on top of it. He knows he cannot overextend. A lot of people would have just lost the game right there. Misery still staying alive. Where is the bat? Where is Pycat? Pycat pushing the creep wave. They could go for the push right now. Sure, there's buyback, but you force out the buyback and in the hopes that if you win another team fight, you could win the game. This game is off the hook right now. Pycat.
Well, Mushi's got buyback in 15 seconds, but they may lose a Rax here.
They are going to lose a Rax in 15 seconds, definitely. Here we go, he's going to blink forward. No, he's going to save that blink. Manta Style's already doing the work. There's a Manta. Blink Impale, that's going to hit on two. They're buying a lot of time. Look at the mana burn on Pycat. He's getting Hex, and here comes Cogs, here comes Battery Assault. Just the annoyance factor. And are we going to see that buyback being used? He's got it, right? He's got the buyback. No buyback here on Mushi. He's saying not worth the Rax. There's a glyph being used. Pycat's finally going to get that Rax. Is out of mana. He actually can't blink out. And there's a buyback coming in the most opportune time. The Rack's still alive. And Pycat, he's going to go down. Does he have the buyback? Yes, he does. Bucha travel up on Mushi. He could teleport up on top and start pushing in. But no, for now, they're going to settle with the Rax loss. Wow, I thought the Rax was going to survive.
That was something. They timed the buyback with the Scyther Vice, so that because the thing is, as soon as Antimate sees a buyback, he's going to blink away and run. But the Scyther Vice came at the pretty much simultaneous time as the buyback, so Mushi immediately TPs on top, finishes off the Anti-Mage, and they only just killed him as well. Anti-Mage, new BKB. There we go. Now gets himself a 10-second BKB.
Is that the answer though?
Not really. It's just a minor improvement. I guess it's better than his 5-second one. As we saw there at the Rax, he got chain hex so many times. So having that slightly longer BKB will help, but it's not going to be the answer by any means.
Is there something to be said that Pycat shouldn't be farming anymore? I mean, that sounds like the most
he's the only one who can push out lanes. He's the only one who can push out this top lane. They've got to keep these lanes pushed out because they've lost Raxes. That's really the problem. Their throne's down to about 3/4 HP because of this top lane. So he has to farm and push out this top lane.
And start defending on the bot as well, because there's something to be said about the Dire support starting to pick up Cypher Vice of their own. It looks like we see the Manta Illusions working on the Rax. These Manta Illusions are so damn tanky. Multiple teleportation coming up top. They want to get a bait on Pycat. Pycat, he smarts up. I think at this point, like back in the mid lane, G should be farming it. The Bat Rider should be farming it. They should be building Scythe of Isis. Obviously, they need to still stay for buyback. There's a boot to travel up on Chen. All these just awkward items. Look at 1437. He is just so damn poor. Don't even have gold for a Gold Scepter. I mean, we're at 16 minutes in the game. He has 1,000 HP. He's getting completely one-shot by a Shadow Fiend.
It's the big thing separating the two teams. The Orange have golden items on their supports, but it's something that LGD can't change. I mean, they can't say, okay, Shadow Demon, you go take top lane, get some farm, push it out. He can't do that. He'll just die, and even if he doesn't die, he pushes out too slow. They need a hero who can push it out super fast, and that's Anti-Mage. That's also why I see some people saying, oh, he needs to sell his Battle Fury, but without the Battle Fury, he can't push these lanes out as fast as they need. LGD is in this game because Anti-Mage can fast push out top lane, fast push out mid lane, and he only does that with the Battle Fury. He can't sell this item. Yeah, maybe we can see him selling, well, the BKB, but even that I think is just too risky and would require like such perfect timing in these team fights. There's nothing he can really sell out of these items.
I think there is a time where you put your Butcher Travel on the stash and engage with the Divine Rapier if it gets to that stage. I don't think we're at that stage just yet, but
what he could do is get a second crew which like follows him around the battlefield with his Boots of Travel. And then have himself with a Divine Rapier. So if he dies, well, no, he can leave it at base, because if he dies, he's going to have to buy back anyways, and then he can pick up his Boots of Travel. But I definitely agree he can drop his Boots of Travel and get something like a Divine Rapier.
Right now, both teams staying a little bit timid. I don't think both teams should engage, simply because the buyback on both Shadow Fiend as well as Anti-Mage is on cooldown. Although Orange says, we don't care about that. We're going to go for a little bit of chip damage on your range racks, or Raxus in general. Those Manta Illusions from Shadow Fiend going to do the damage, but the next time they come back, it's always regen back to full HP.
Yeah, it's regardless of how things go down, it's gonna get back up to HP very, very fast here. And Orange, they just can't keep it up. They are gonna get themselves a Roshan now, but do they give the Aegis to Mushi? I feel they should drop the Shadow Blade, give him and do the like have a courier following him or something. But I think Mushi benefits the most from an Aegis, but they're not gonna give it to him. It's Nyx.
Nyx Assassin picks it up. Nyx Assassin has a Scythe of Ice finish. I do want to point out that KYXY also has gold for Scythe of Ice. And 3 Scythe of Ice. Once that BKB is done, that Anti-Mage is not going anywhere. The next time we engage, unless there's going to be a big change in terms of item, or the way that these team fights go, Anti-Mage is not going to do a single damn thing once the BKB is down.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and they can even catch him before he BKBs. I mean, he's got to rely on, during that 10-second duration, this is why he goes for the new BKB, because during that 10-second duration in a team fight, he has to make the most happen possible.
Mushi dropping Manta style for Butterfly.
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
Well, there's no MKB. I mean, this makes him Anti-Mage doesn't have slots for an MKB of his own, so Butterfly is the right way to play this. It's Anti-Mage's whose Butterfly doesn't really offer much as far as evasion goes. He gets all the attack speed. It helps out his illusions do more damage, more attack speed. But he's not getting the evasion, unfortunately, because of the MKB on the Shadow Fiend.
Yep. I wonder if this is going to be it's going to force a switch from Anti-Mage to go in MKB by dropping one of his items. But again, what do you drop? All of these items are completely necessary.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough for him. This is where he wishes he had 8 or 9 item slots. If he had 8 or 9 item slots, I think LGD.int would be just fine right now.
Next patch, the ability to buy new item slots.
Yep, you talked about buying cooldowns on spell. That could be a new addition. I like Chen just sitting, but look at Chen sitting behind Anti-Mage at top, just in case they come in with a smoke gank and X him. The Test of Faith will be there. They can't bring him down in that 3 seconds, I don't think. And it's basically saying, well, the Test of Faith is always there. He's actually going to send them back now. So he doesn't want to waste his Boots of Travel cooldown. Chen will waste his Boots of Travel cooldown, though.
Right. If they win a team fight somehow in their base, that Anti-Mage could Boots of Travel on top lane, perhaps, and go for a push. But for now, they're going to have to be defending. The question is, who's going to be initiating? You got to always look at the Beastmaster as well as the Bat Rider, especially with the multiple Blink Daggers. But also KYXY, a very valid candidate to hook right in. He has the cheese, he has Gold Scepter, Mech, as well as the Scythe of Ice, so he could easily start the chain locking on Pycat.
Yeah, it's all about getting that jump off, and we'll have to see if Clockwork can find him with a hook shot into a Scythe of Ice. And I mean, it's probably favorable if they can just do that. I mean, I don't see Bat Rider or Beastmaster being able to do much. Hookshot doesn't land, it doesn't look like.
Ooh, that's gonna force out BKB, and looks like they are gonna find Mushi. Where's the Beastmaster? They got chase on him perfectly. He has a BKB. They roar Mushi. Mushi's done. He buys back another at least 3 or 4 minutes bought for LGD. But look at the mid tower. It's down.
if Orange lose Mushi again here, this is really risky play coming from here, and this is why I'm surprised.
I don't agree with this play, but there is no BKB, or there's no Roar, there's no Hex. They do find actually Pycat, they're hexing him up, the Glyph is going to be used. They gotta keep Pycat locked down. Pycat blinks in right now. Where the hell's Pycat? Beastmaster is done. Pycat gets hexed. Pycat's done. He has buyback as well. He will be using it. Beastmaster's fighting his way. He also has buyback. But look at Mushi. He's going for the Mega Creeps. He gets one Rex, looking for the second Rex. I think they're gonna get the Mega Creeps. Beastmaster and as well as Anti-Mage just too slow back to the party. Blink Dagger coming in from, or Blink coming in from Pycat. Pycat's out of mana because of the Mana League, and the entire team on the Radiant, they're retreating. Look at Mushi, they're so providing damage, so fighting. 1437 is gonna get picked off by spike damage. Pycat won't make it out of sight. GG gets called, and Mushi carrying his team to victory.
Well, apparently I didn't jinx it. We've had multiple crazy games today, from the first game of today to this last one we've had. We've had both our series be 2-0 victories, but it sure doesn't feel that way.
It's heating up.
Man, this felt like a best of 5, not gonna lie.
This 2-0 did feel like, it felt like a 3-2 best of 5 series that we just casted, although it was a not so quick and easy 2-0 coming out of Orange Esports.
Wow. Well, that's going to do it for the GEST challenge for today. We will have more broadcasts tomorrow for both Beyond the Summit channels. I am Illuminous. You can follow me everywhere, Illuminous Inverse. And of course, he's Gods. You can follow him at Facebook, GGNet Gods, and Twitter, BTS Gods.
Yeah. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, guys. It's for the GST challenge. It's starting at the same time, which is 7 p.m. Singapore time and going till about midnight Singapore time. For your Europeans, that's 12 midday CET, and also tune in earlier because LD or myself will be streaming the G1 League qualifiers. We're getting into round 2. That's starting live from 1 p.m., which is something like 5 or 6 in the morning for you Europeans. But hey, why the hell not?
Well, I have nothing else to say, so
You've got classes to go to.
I have classes. I'm late to class right now, so this is how much I'm doing for you guys. In any case, hope you guys enjoy the stream. And of course, LD, I do believe, is still streaming right now, so if you guys want to hop over to Beyond the Summit stream number 1, go watch it.
And head on over to Beyond the Summit ones, and also a big thanks to our sponsor Gigabyte for doing this event, the GST Challenge, as well as Dota Talk. They're your hosts for the event. Head on over to dotatalk.com for basically your official coverage of this event, as well as the GST Dota 2, as well as all the GMPGL qualifiers. They do a lot for the Southeast Asian scene, so a big thanks to Dota Talk for putting this on and making this possible, as well as Gigabyte for sponsoring the GEST, and all basically like 90% of the Southeast Asian and Asian Dota events are sponsored by Gigabyte, so a big thanks to them. But tomorrow, guys, tune in again. Thanks for joining me, Luminous. I think that's it.
Thanks for having me.
All right. See you later, man.
GG.